I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know I could hit go live from OBS and not on the YouTube page. What's up, YouTube? We're live.
Acting like you need a robot to do that shit in reality. Oh, sorry. What's up?
All right. I think we're good.
Cool.
I don't see anyone in chat. Why is no one in chat? Do you see people in chat?
Not
No.
yet. We are empty as so far.
I mean, usually we start with people. Oh, there we go. There's Oscar. Oscar. All right. Let's get cracking.
What up?
Welcome,
What's up,
everybody.
gamers?
This is the weekly Cranked live stream. If you're new, my name is Joe, and I'm the game director. And we today have Hodge, who's a new programmer on the project. Michael Hodge, and then we also got Brian here.
What
As-
up, y'all?
as
Hey, Hodge.
usual.
Good to have you on here, man.
Hey, thank you. Glad to be here.
Today we're gonna do things a little differently. I think we're gonna try to just like have a stream where the three of us talk about a lot of the different game ideas we've got coming up. We want to talk about two things that we've maybe are changing our minds on that the community's been asking lots of questions about. And we're going to do a little less, a lot of the times we're sitting here just responding to TikTok comments for 3 hours. So today's going to be more of kind of putting on the show that we want to put on and people can tune in and watch. And that's how it's going to work. So if that makes any sense.
We'll answer some questions along the way, but we're going to try to not make it all being responsive because we kind of say the same things over and over again when it happens.
Yeah, so I guess we'll just start. I thought it'd be kind of, I don't know how you guys want to start this. Anyone got ideas? We've got some
I don't know.
juicy stuff to talk
Let's
about,
talk to
but I wanna
Hodge a little
wait.
bit. I mean, this is the first time he's been on here with us, and I think maybe we can kind of just take a second getting to know our new programmer a little bit, if that works for you guys, while you shred
Yeah.
some laps and
That's what I was thinking.
get that muscle memory kicking.
Yeah.
So, Hodge, why don't you just kind of introduce yourself, man? Like, obviously we met you when you were making Chasing the Dream. So why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and how we met you, what Chasing the Dream was / is, etc.
Yeah. My name is Michael Hodge. I'm a gamer, basically just like all you guys. I originally set out, trying to combine my hobbies of like computers and programming and that kind of stuff by making a motocross game. So I have a pretty big motocross background, been racing my whole life, and still ride to this day. So definitely a huge part of my life, and that's kind of how I came to know these guys, was through Motocross Chasing the Dream. Fortunately, it didn't work out. I couldn't get the funding for it, but I still work on a motocross game in my spare time. So super happy to be on the Crank team now, and it's been super fun so far. This is my first week, so just trying to shred through some of these bugs and get this thing going. So
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Nice. And you ride. Go ahead, Joe.
No,
Sorry,
you
man.
go ahead. Go ahead. Ask away.
I was just going to ask you about mountain bikes. I know you ride some mountain bikes as well, right?
yeah, I got my first mountain bike in 2022, I think. It's a Trek Roscoe 7, just a hardtail. So I'm not very good. You can see that I'm a pretty big boy, so I struggle sometimes with the climbs, but yeah, the
E-bike.
downhills are fun at least. So
Dude, we gotta get you an e-bike. I need to get an e-bike. We all need e-bikes. That's what we need. We're old
yeah, they're
and
so damn expensive.
out of shape. I know. We need an official Cranked e-bike sponsor that just hooks the team up. Anyone out there? Holler at us. But yeah, so this week, this, like we were saying, this is Hodge's first week as programmer on the project, and this week's kind of mostly about fixing up some bugs and tidying things up, especially stuff like feedback we've gotten from the playtest. If you guys haven't or don't know, there is a Cranked playtest on Steam right now. Anyone can join, it's free. But we got a lot of feedback there, a lot of good feedback. So we mostly been kind of combing over the most requested bug fixes and feature requests and things, trying to polish things up and make it better. And then probably starting next week or the week after, we'll start working on some more fun stuff for you guys and get some new features in the works. But the plan, some of you probably read the the Patreon post, but the plan is kind of spend a week or two fixing up some bugs, polishing some things. One of the big topics we're going to talk about today is keyboard controls, and I've been pretty vocal about how I didn't want to support keyboard because I think this game was meant for a controller, but came to find out like 20% of people are playing on keyboard, so we're going to spend a little bit of time fixing up the keyboard controls, making those feel a lot better, and then once all that stuff's kind of done, then we're going to move on to multiplayer, actually. And then once multiplayer, at least the first version of multiplayer is done, then we're going to move back over to third person. As you can see here in third person, it's very ugly and you know, feels kind of like a different game in third person compared to first person. So we've got a lot of work to do there to make it feel good and smooth and feel like it's part of the same game. So that's kind of what's on the agenda for the next, how long you think all that stuff takes, Podge? Probably the next month and a half or so.
Yeah, something like that.
And then we'll see what happens after that. I don't know. Other big ticket items we need to get in the game before we can launch early access is like modding, the core gameplay loop, you know, all the challenges, like the career mode, if you want to call it that. All that kind of stuff needs to get in there. So that's kind of where we're at. But we thought today that we would talk about kind of two items that the community is requested a lot, that I've been pretty vocal on saying, no, we're not going to do that. And I've kind of changed my mind. So I don't know if we want to dive into that stuff yet or save it for a little later. What do you guys think?
We don't have Aaron here yet. I usually like to wait for the good stuff in case Aaron's going to show up. So maybe we wait for a few minutes and see if she pops in. If not, then we'll hit it. We do have, however, Cohen's hanging out with us, and a rapid 4850's in the house with us. Got Adam Morgan's back like he typically is, which is great. Goose Frabba's here, so it's good seeing some of these people who hang out with us each week, and lots of folks hang with us on TikTok too, which is nice. So maybe wait a little bit, Joe. I would say, what are you racing right now? What track are you doing?
This is Kaltegraten.
Groton. Yeah.
Probably the second hardest trail in the demo. If you guys are new, there's a demo on Steam or a playtest, so just go to Steam and you can download it for free. But I've been grinding this one a bunch the last couple days because I know, if we take a look at the leaderboards, I know I'm sitting in 10th, but I know I can get at least, I think I can get up to 4th. So as long as I can put a run together, we'll try to get the 4th on the stream while we sit here and chat. Is probably what I'll be doing most of the time.
Yeah, dude, I have an idea, Joe. While you're trying to put a run together, why don't you just, as we're getting into this, talk about how you're riding it. Like, talk about what you're thinking and what you're trying to accomplish as you do. Let's see what it's like if you comment on an attempt to run a hot lap here.
Oh,
and also, we'll just say to a person who mentioned on TikTok about whip physics, we haven't really done as much work on whip physics yet, so we definitely want to do that more. So what do you think, Joe? Why don't let us know how your runs are going? What are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean, this trail is, and this is the way a lot of trails are in this game, but this one's pretty technical, so you'll see me restarting a lot. We've purposely developed, you know, this racing mode and system to have instant restarts, like similar to Trackmania or Mad Skills, any of the Mad Skills games. So it's about dialing in your lines, honing in the track, getting the muscle memory down. But the beginning section here is, it's hard to keep speed, and I try to to hit the high line here and then cut over this rock, hop onto this rock, and then there's like a little transfer down. But I mean, also sometimes it takes me 100 attempts just to get through the beginning quick. I already have a pretty.
Do you pretty much have a fast lap, like a fast lap line that you want to do the whole way down? Do you know what you're doing, or are you still experimenting some as you go from top to bottom?
I pretty much know what I'm doing, but since we released the playtest, like some of this trail changed a little bit, so there's like some spots. That's what I'm trying to do right there. There's some spots that changed a tiny bit, but for the most part, it's the same. But every section of, I mean, there's like not many parts of this trail that are easy. Like all of it's pretty rough, so takes a while to really nail the line together. So it's kind of hard for me to probably talk about what I'm doing because it's going to be the same section over and over. But once I get a run going, I'll start talking more.
If anybody's hanging with us for the first time, this is a pre-alpha game, very early in development. We're not even 260 days into development yet, and you can play it for free. There's a playtest on Steam. Just search for Cranked. Hit the request playtest button, and you'll all be approved immediately and get the game. You know, it's super early. We've started to upgrade the graphics here on the playtest map, the open world map that our Patreon subscribers get. Doesn't have the updated environment yet, but if you played the play test, you'll get a pretty good idea what we're going for. I think you'll see this game doesn't feel like any other mountain bike game, and you know, a lot of people are trying it, don't quite know what to think maybe sometimes when they see the video, but when they get the play test and understand what we're going for physics-wise, and they can kind of tell mountain bikers we're behind this game, people who actually ride. You know, maybe check it out. If you see this and you're not sure what to think of it, head over to Steam, search for Cranked, and do the play test build. See what you think. Let us know. And if you find anything you think could be better, let us know that too. And we'll all listen. Hodge here, our new developer, old friend, new developer on the team, is paying attention to all the feedback as well. And you know, you can help us make this game the best it can be.
There's a little cheater line, not
What are
really
you
cheater
working-
line, but if you guys pay attention to that spot, there's like a cut in the grass. It kind of hints that you can take that line, cut over. See if we can make up some time here. But anyway, you want to scrub this jump, tap the brakes a little bit, aim to the right, shoot this all the way down. You can go deep right here. And you got to be careful on those rocks. This next section can be... Ooh, I lost even more time. Not good. This next section can be tough, but we'll see if we can catch up some time here. Nope, we can't. Whoops.
While you're running, Hodge, let's acknowledge our boy Makai's in the house, and he mentioned it would be good to hear your thoughts on your first week. He said he knows you mentioned some stuff yesterday on Discord, and if y'all are listening and want to join our Discord, please do. It's super active. And he said things you noticed, things you're looking to tweak, etc. So, what's your kind of initial impression of working on this new project so far?
Yeah, so I've actually been in the project for a couple of weeks now, and one thing that I've noticed is Zach, the other programmer on the project, he does things a lot differently than I do. So it's been a little difficult to kind of get used to that, but I think, yeah, it's going to be good. So I saw some people mention the whip physics and stuff. That's something that we're definitely going to be looking to improve, and I have some ideas for that. Right now, the whip physics are basically mimicking what's happening on the ground technically. I know that doesn't really make sense, but I think we can make a lot of improvements there and make it feel more steezy and more flowy. So yeah, that's going to be super nice. I'm excited for that. I know we were talking about multiplayer yesterday too, so just kind of jumping at the bit to get in there and get all this stuff done. So
Awesome. What do you think the first implementation of multiplayer will be like? I'm not asking you to commit to anything. I'm just curious how you're kind of feeling about it. I know you haven't really fully tackled that yet. What do you think? out of the
yeah,
gate?
so I've actually done quite a few multiplayer systems in my other games, and I think the first implementation is basically just going to be riding around with your buddies, and I think that'll give us a good feel for the kind of stress that the servers are going to undergo, and it'll definitely be a good, I guess you could say, guideline for, I don't know, what it's going to be like ripping down the hills with your buddies. So I think it'll be, even though it's going to be super basic, just riding around, I think it'll be super fun. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to jumping in the server with the boys.
Hell yeah. Dude, I can't wait to hit multiplayer.
Yeah, it's going to be
Be
sick.
awesome.
Especially because some of the trails lately, like the ones Antcrass has been working on, have really cool like split lines and different lines you can take. So I think it'll be fun when you have multiple people and then you can like take different lines and kind of be intersecting each other's lines. And man, it's gonna open up all kinds of different trail ideas and stuff too, I think. Getting a lot of questions, so let's do another quick rundown of just like the regular general info. If you guys are just new here, we're the developers. We're making this game called Cranked, and if you want to try out the free playtest, you can check it out on Steam. Just go to Steam and search for Cranked, or you can go to the link in our bio. Everyone gets into this playtest. It's not a restricted one, so feel free to go sign up. You'll get right in. Recommend you play with controller for now. Keyboard controls are pretty broken. We're gonna actually talk about that here in a little bit. But super early pre-alpha. We're hoping to launch early access later this year sometime, but we've got a lot of work left to do. So it's mostly a physics demo for you guys to kind of try out and give us feedback on, and let us know like, what you're looking forward to, what you want to see change, what you like about it. Yeah.
And if you like the playtest and you like being a part of a game that's sort of developing in the open with radical candor, we talk about everything, we answer everything anybody asks us, basically. Not necessarily all the comments on these lives, because it's just impossible for us to keep up, and that's all we end up doing. But if you're on our Discord, anybody asks us questions, we're very open about what we do. And if you're into that kind of thing, you can also join our Patreon and support us that way, and you actually get all the updates that we do all along the way when you're subscribing. And if you spend a total of $50 on Patreon over time, not only do you help the development of an indie effort of action sports people who are trying to make something as good as we can, but you also will get a key for the game if you spend a total of $50. A key for the final version of the game.
We had
I
a
like
good question.
that little rock rod you did, Drew.
Yeah, it's
Joe.
fun.
That's cool.
That thing sometimes kicks you to the left, so to avoid just crashing, I just like tilt the bike and wall ride it instead.
Skip off the rocks. That was cool.
Yeah. Good question on YouTube from, I think it was Mackay. Hodge, maybe already, I don't think you answered it. Sometimes it's hard for me to focus on two things at once, but he's asking anything from your motocross game that you think will carry over to this game? Like anything you've learned?
So I actually did just answer this in chat, but probably not anything physics-wise, just because the physics systems are so different. But definitely, I would say like boilerplate and some other stuff that I made, like a customization system. Our plans aren't to do exactly what we did in the Moto game, but definitely like the back-end stuff, the data organization and things like that. So it'll definitely speed some stuff up. Maybe some multiplayer stuff. Not totally sure on that yet, but we could definitely reuse some of the things.
How about modding? Have you done work? Did you kind of start the process of modding in your other games at all, or is that going to be a new thing for you?
Yeah, but actually, before we started working with you guys in 2022 or 3 or whenever it was, I did have a basic modding system set up. It was pretty easy to get going. Basically, you create mods in Unity, then upload them to Mod.io, and then you can go in the in-game browser and download stuff. So works pretty much like, I don't want to say it, but like Descenders or BMX Streets. So it'll be super simple, and I think the community will be familiar with it. So
Yeah, definitely. Mushroom's got a good question over on TikTok's asking if we're gonna have a free ride mode. The main game, when we're done with it, it's actually going to be open world. So, you know, it's up to you to kind of do whatever you want. Like, you can go around and free ride, you can race, you can do freestyle events, you'll be able to do challenges and achievements.
Multiplayer.
Like, yeah, however you want to play the game, it's kind of up to you. But yeah, the whole game is kind of based on roaming and free ride and just exploring a mountain however you want to explore it.
We want to do some fun things too, like one of our OG players, Aaron, had this idea for adding a cafe that you can actually meet your friends and get off the bike and meet your friends and do some fun things. We want like little mini games, fun things you can discover, lots of fun Easter eggs, hidden trails, stuff like that. So we want this to be a world you can really have some fun just riding around with your buddies in.
Yeah. Ali and over there says I played the demo and it's actually really fun. Would definitely recommend. I would definitely recommend off the demo. I think it just means recommend the demo. Thanks. It's on controller or you can play on keyboard. Yeah, let's talk. We can dive into the whole keyboard.
Yeah, let's do it.
Conversation.
Do it.
But quickly before that, let's answer Adam Morgan's question. Are there plans for global leaderboards for mod maps? I know when Zach was, our plan with Zach was that we were going to do that. So I need to talk with Hodge now, but our hope is that part of the modding kit that we release is allows modders to set up racetracks and leaderboards and maybe even like some challenges and other things that we have in the main game. So like if you release your own map, you can kind of almost make it feel like a first party map with challenges, races, all that kind of stuff. That's our hope. But curious, Hodge, if you have thoughts on the possibility of making that happen.
yeah, as far as global leaderboards, I think that'll be pretty easy. There's an API for the backend that we can use that basically takes the map identifier and then you can create leaderboards that way. So that part should be easy. The racing part too will probably release a, I guess like a asset package that you'll be able to use to, build races and challenges and that kind of stuff. So I think it'll be pretty trivial to do. So yeah, like Joe said, it'll be kind of like a first party map.
Sweet. So there you go.
Nice.
But yeah, the main topic of today's stream is two things. And it was kind of a couple things that we've changed. Well, maybe I'm changing my mind on. and I guess us as a team on some of them. The first one is going to be keyboard. So we were leaning more towards, you know, we're a small indie team. There's only 4 of us. We've got 1 programmer on the team right now. And, you know, the more features and things that we need to support, the more work, the more time, the more money. It becomes hard when you're a small team. So the plan was to make this a controller-only game, like a lot of games in the space. But after launching the play test, come on, don't die. Dang it. After launching the play test and seeing some statistics that a little over 20% of people are actually playing on keyboard, we've changed our mind. So we will be supporting keyboard officially, and that's actually something Hodge is going to dive into probably next week. Yeah, so right now keyboard controls are in the game technically, but they're kind of broken. Like, for example, you can't jump, you know, if you do the crouch, because the way you jump on a controller is the right stick down. Like, you crouch down and then you flick the stick up. And if you crouch down and flick up on keyboard, like, the jump doesn't happen. So that's like the main thing that's broken. Also, all the little hints on the screen, like it says hold B to exit race and all those things, if I'm playing on keyboard, those don't change. So you don't really know what button. If you're pressing B on keyboard, nothing's happening and it's confusing. So there's a lot of little things like that that we need to change to make it. Same with PlayStation controller. Like right now we only show the Xbox glyphs, so we need to like change it so it shows PlayStation or whatever. It detects what input you're using and shows you the appropriate thing. So that's what we're going to be working on probably next week, maybe the week after. Is trying to fix up keyboard controls. But oh, Aaron made it. Welcome, Aaron.
Aaron, what's up?
We need help from you guys with the keyboard controls, though, because none of us on the team are keyboard players. I believe these kind of games just feel way better with controller. I always play racing games or whatever, either with a controller like this. I'd never play them with keyboard, except Trackmania. I think Trackmania is like the only racing game I play on a keyboard. So if there's keyboard players out there, especially some of you that are like hardcore Descenders players, or you play other games similar to this game on keyboard and you're used to it and that's what you're good at, we'd love to get your input once we start working on that in the next couple weeks. So yeah, that's kind of a short-term goal for us, is getting the keyboard controls up and running, and we kind of changed plans. We hear a lot of people requesting it, so an example of us just kind of listening to what you guys want and making a change.
Quick shout out to Emma Rose hanging with us over on the TikTok side of things. Emma, it's always good to see you in the chat with us. Also want to kind of respond to Blaze on TikTok, who said, please don't make this game a free-to-play, the pay-to-win game. It'll never be. It'll never have microtransactions in it. We're not going to sell competitive advantage. It's a game. This is a premium game. We're going to make it as good as we can, and we're going to charge a fair price for it. If we ever have an additional thing that we sell afterward, it might be a significant DLC type of a thing. That's a possibility, but that would just be an expansion of content or another map or something along those lines. That's not even certain. That's just, we're not sure about that. But when it comes to microtransactions and free-to-play tricks and all that kind of stuff, it'll never happen. Game ever. So there you go, man. You don't have to worry about it. Free-to-play is hard. So hard to free-to-play.
On a burner, you guys talk while I figure this out.
I just had a quick note on the keyboard controls. So, like Joe said, we're not really keyboard players, so definitely want your opinion on it. If you head over to our Discord, I'd like to know what the default keyboard setup would be that you'd want. I was thinking like arrow keys for like forward movement, steering, and then WASD for leaning, maybe, and then jump for spacebar for jump. So, be kind of nice to know that before we dive into all the programming.
Yeah, definitely.
Right on.
Carson asks, is this only PC? Right now it's PC, Mac, Linux, but in the future, when the game gets like a 1.0 state, then we'll work on porting it over to consoles and other things. So PC development first. All right, should we dive into the next topic? The next big topic? Open up a can of worms on you guys?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's open that can of worms, brother. Let's open that can of worms.
Yeah, let's do it. And I'll tell you guys how this all started. I wanted to try a sensitivity setting in the game. Why? Because I feel like in third person, it's more twitchy and like sensitive than it was in first person. So I thought, all right, let's do a sensitivity setting. Excuse me. And drinking these bubbly waters during a stream is probably a bad idea, but I don't care. Anyway,
Better than eating a bunch of black beans.
yeah. I thought like a sensitivity setting could maybe, if I tweak the values, it could maybe solve my problem of why third person feels weird. So we started diving into this thing called input sensitivity curve. We have a linear version, and then there's 3 different progressive curves, and then you can dial in how much input smoothing you want. And it really kind of changes the feeling of the handling. Like I can try to show you guys. It's going to be a little hard, but let's go to default on 0, and you'll see, you know, if you guys have played, you know, you can like lean the bike down ridiculous amounts and don't crash. Like this is something we've been wanting to fix, and we'll get to it eventually. But the game's very, you know, if you have it on the old default values, like you're getting the raw input from the controller directly into the game, and there's no smoothing at all. So it's very responsive. It can maybe feel a little too responsive or jerky for some people, especially new people that, you know, you watch new people and they do a lot of this, like oversteering and overcorrecting, and they're like zigzagging all over the trail. So we were trying to figure out a way to kind of solve that. So if you see me like dial in, we'll go to an extreme setting here. Now if I lean as far as I can lean, you can see it's quite a bit less, and the inputs in general are smoothed out, and it makes it a little easier to control. I think this setting will be nice for newer players. Maybe you don't need, you know, the crazy amount of sensitivity and hard steering yet because they're not going fast enough. Once you start going faster, you're probably going to want to start dialing that down. But also, I was noticing it was kind of trail dependent. So on like faster, flowier, more straighter trails that without a lot of turns, like we have one called Paper Wings on the open world map, I liked having more of this because at high speeds in a straight line, it like allowed my bike to feel kind of more stable and planted. And you probably see where I'm going now with this, but a lot of people request for us to have bike tuning. They want to be able to tune the suspension. They want to tune the brakes or the tire pressures or whatever. They want to tune stuff. And I've been very vocal and clear that we have 0 plans to do that up until now. But then adding this thing kind of got me thinking, like, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun on some tracks, dialing this up a little bit, dialing it down, playing around with it. And it made me wonder, like, is this becoming tuning? Or are we slowly adding tuning, what I said we wouldn't add, but it's just in the form of settings? So that's what I wanted to talk about today with you guys is, should we rethink? Should we add tuning in some capacity? My caveat with it is, and one of the main reasons I didn't want to do it in the past was because I don't like knowing whether I lost a race because it was my skill or because my bike setup. Like MX Bikes, for example, you can't see what other people are running with their setups in MX Bikes. So it's like, if you play a race and you get your butt kicked, you're like, okay, maybe was it my setup? Was it my skills? I don't know. And I'm always just asking friends, like, hey, send me your setup. I don't want to deal with this. So my caveat is if we are to add it, I'm not saying we will be, but if we were to add it into the game, I want to be able to go to the leaderboard, click on someone's name, and see their setup, and have one button that just replicates their setup. Like, I want his setup, give it to me now. Boom. Hit a button, copy the setup, and now I can try their setup. I know there's probably other racing games that have done that. I think I've played some car games that do that. But then I think it gets rid of that issue for me of like, oh, I'm unsure if it was my setup or was it this or that. So anyway, that's a conversation I want to have. I'm curious what Brian and Hodge think about all this. We haven't really talked about it much internally. We wanted to save it for the stream. And I'm curious what you guys think about it in chat. If you do want tuning, what kind of things would you want to tune and what would they affect? Like if we do tire pressures, what is that going to affect? Or, you know, in my head, I don't want it to add tuning for the sake of adding tuning. This all started because we added something that, you know, is going to be useful to players, and it was kind of a fun thing. So I think what I would want to do is listen to some player, like I've heard some players say they want the bike to feel more planted. Some players want it to feel a little more bouncy and loose. So is that a suspension thing? Like if you tune your suspension, you can make it a little more planted and dialed in, or if you tune it a different way, you can make it a little more bouncy and playful. You know, so I don't want to add tuning for tuning's sake. I want it to be because, you know, there's some people want it one way, some people want it another way, and there's actually like reasons for kind of doing it. So that's enough of me chatting. Now let's hear what you guys have to say.
What's your take, Hodge?
Oh man, I don't know. Part of me kind of doesn't want it, but I also think it might be good. I played MX Simulator for like I don't know how long, since like 2011 at a professional level, and I was always kind of questioning, like, am I not doing well because someone else has a better setup than me? And you know, people were paying for setups in that game, and they do an MX bikes nowadays too. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of on the fence about it. I could go either way. I think as long as it's not like super in depth, then maybe it would be
Yeah.
okay.
I would want it to
but-
be like a very arcadey version of setups. Like I'm talking like maybe 4 attributes max. Like it could be like a suspension setting, tire pressure setting, you know, like maybe some sort of frame geometry kinematic setting type thing. Maybe like one other one, but I don't want it to be like, oh, I need to just rebound and blah blah, like, you know, really dumb it down to where it's like one slider for suspension. You want it more bouncy, less bouncy, whatever, you know, like something like that.
Yeah, I think MX versus ATV does that pretty well with their arcade motocross game. Basically just sliders, and you can adjust like suspension and gearing, which we wouldn't really have in here, but you know, just simple stuff like that I think would be okay.
Joe, do you think if you went this route that this would be an important move to make before V1 1.0 is out? Because it would change the game too much after initial launch, or do you think this is something that you would consider holding off until after 1.0?
I don't think it has to be part of 1.0. No, I don't think so. No, but it also gets tricky because we want to have different bike classes too. So now not only do you have to have different bike classes that all feel different and unique, like maybe 4 or 5 different bike types. We're talking downhill, enduro, trail, hardtail, e-bike, maybe a BMX bike. You know, what is that, like 6 bikes I just threw? All those need to feel different. And then if you have tuning for each of those different, you know, some like a BMX bike's not going to have suspension tuning, for example. But if all of a sudden now you have tuning within each of those bikes, you know, they also need to feel special within the tuning. You can't be able to, like, you shouldn't be able to tune a trail bike to all of a sudden like feel just like a downhill bike. So it would become very complicated and you know, probably be a lot of work to make all this happen. So that, for that reason, I don't think it would come before 1.0. But my point, I guess what I was getting to is like, I don't, you know, like I don't want to just be like, hey, we're doing a tuning system, let's go. It was more like, hey, some people wanted to try a sensitivity setting, so we worked on it, and it's kind of interesting. I'm not sure, we're still not even sure if we're keeping this setting or not. Patreon members are testing it. But my point was like, if we start adding these settings and they're useful, and some people like some settings and some people like other settings, instead of just setting one default setting for everyone, it could be, you know, instead of calling this input smoothing, instead it ends up being like some setup thing that you tweak, and it's all about like bike stability based on your, I don't know, you know, there's a whatever, like wrapping it in a container that makes it feel like it's a setup change and not just a setting change in the settings menu is kind of the idea. And then as we add more of those things over time, the setup of the bike kind of builds out, because people have been asking for different settings. I don't know.
Joe, did you mention, I was reading some comments, so I may have missed this. Did you mention your idea of being able to see somebody's setup on the leaderboards?
Yeah, in the beginning, I was saying, you know, my caveat is if we did add this, I want it to be very easy to see what anyone's setup is and be able to replicate it with basically one button press. I don't know. Jackson says tuning doesn't fit the game. Austin, no adjustability, please. I'm very against tuning. See, it's interesting because like a lot of I thought so much of the community wanted it, and it seems like a lot of our core people that have been in the community for a long time, almost since the beginning, are saying don't get it, don't have it. So, you know, it was kind of something I wanted to talk about and bring up, and I don't know, see what you guys think. What were you gonna say, Hawk?
I feel like I kind of agree with the fast guys. It's I don't know, like I like Mad Skills motocross. I play it pretty often, and I like that it's all skill based basically.
Yep. Same.
Yeah, no tuner or anything. And I feel like the stuff with the input smoothing, yeah, there is a way to like tie it into the bike setup and stuff like that, but I feel like that's more of a, I don't know, it affects your human inputs rather than what's happening in the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's something that you have direct control over. I know we talked to some of the fast guys yesterday, and they didn't really like the new input smoothing settings, but I do. I feel like I'm kind of like a mid-level guy. I don't know. Usually like 10 pages in on the leaderboards, and I like that. I don't know. It just it feels a little bit more controllable to me, and I know I'll never be as fast as them, so it kind of makes the game a little bit more enjoyable, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I tend to agree with the fast guys that tuning would maybe be a little detrimental, but I can obviously see both ways. So
Yeah. I'm, if you had to ask me now, like what side of the fence am I on? I'm still on the side of the fence of no tuning. Probably is going to happen. But this kind of opened my eyes up to be like, maybe like an arcadey version of tuning could be interesting at some point. Or maybe there's a mode in the game that's about tuning or something later down the road, 2.0 or who knows. But kind of just want to talk about it openly and let you guys know that my mind is open and possibly opinions are changing as we develop.
Just a quick comment to James, who's hanging out with us on TikTok. Thanks for chilling with us, man. He was feeling like this was looking a bit too Descenders-like and like it's not for him. And Christian, who hangs out with us over there a lot, is kind of saying he doesn't think so at all, and you got to play it to understand. I do think you kind of have to play it to understand. So, if anybody's feeling that way and you're into mountain bike, especially if you ride in real life, I think one of the big differences between what we're doing and what it seemed to us, at least, that Descenders did is this is all coming from people who come from action sports and spent, Joe's been on a mountain bike for decades and has been riding bikes his whole life. And I think you can tell when you play it that somebody who knows what riding is all about is behind this game. So, you can get it for free, the free play test on Steam, and just try it for free and see what you think and let us know. And, if it's still not working for you and you just kind of want to forget about it, that's cool. If you think it's cool, but it could be better, you could let us know what you think and why, and we'll take that into account and try to make it better. But yeah, if you head to Steam and just search for Cranked, hit the request playtest button, you'll be approved immediately and you'll get to play the version Joe's playing right now. No, you're not on the what? Yeah, you play this version that Joe's on right now for free on Steam. See what you think.
Emma had a question earlier that we didn't get to about the keyboard stuff, so we can go back to that real quick. But she was asking if keyboard will allow rebinding, and what I would like to do, and we'll see what Hodge says, but what I would like to do is make it like MX bikes, where kind of you can rebind anything to anything. But curious how difficult that would be. Am I back? Maybe? Anybody?
Oh, I
think
crashed
so.
out too. I think that was weird.
Everything seemed fine for me except for the stream on Discord. So I think we're okay
Yeah,
now.
that was weird. My whole computer.
No,
locked up.
the TikTok live seems to have gone down too.
Yeah, I think we're back up now. Did you hear my question at all, Hodge, or no?
I heard like the start before everything locked up.
Yeah, basically, Emma was asking if we're going to have rebindable keybinds, and I was saying that I would like to, but curious your thoughts on it. And, like, would we also let people rebind controller things like you can do in MX bikes, or is that too difficult? What do you think?
Oh, yeah, that'd be pretty easy to do, having rebinding for both. We could either do it, like you said, where it's all just, like, one input list, or we could do it based off of controller and keyboard, like have two separate menus for that.
I think two
earlier I was just
better.
getting at like the default.
Yeah. True. Yeah, you need to have a nice default set. I think that's the way to go, is get a good default, have them separated in the menu, and then, you could go into the separate menus for keyboard or controller and rebind things if you wanted to.
Yeah, that'd be pretty easy to do, so.
Oh, I think that was out of bounds. Yep. Oh, there's that crash. There's that crash, Hodge.
We're working on it. I think we're getting close to having that solved.
All right, I'm going to go back to the regular version so we can play the open world map a little bit. So some of you who haven't seen the open world map can now see that. Warning, it's ugly. Artist Maggie has not worked in here at all. So it looks almost like a different game. Kind of think of it as us like gray boxing out trails, and then once the trails are done, Maggie will come in here and beautify the world.
When you say once the trails are done, you certainly don't mean all the trails on the open world. You mean just the ones that are kind of in play right now, or do you mean you're going to build even more trails before she gets to the art on the open world version?
Now our plan is to kind of go in sections. So like Antgrass has kind of finished the very first section of this world now. So now Maggie can go in and start working on that first section while he starts working on the trails of the second section. And then when he's done with the second section, Maggie should be done with the first section. And like Maggie will always kind of just be one step behind where Antgrass is.
Hey, External, thank you for the follow. If anybody's hanging out with us on TikTok and you're just kind of stumbling onto us, please consider following. We're a self-funded indie effort. A bunch of guys from Action Sports. Joe's a long-time mountain bike guy. Hodge and I are longtime motocross guys. We're the same. Joe and I are on the OG team that made Mad Skills Motocross. You guys know the mobile Mad Skills Motocross, Mad Skills BMX games. We've been making games for a long time. This time we're making a PC game. It's not free to play. There won't be any microtransactions. We're just trying to make it as good as we can. We're developing it in public. With radical candor, we will talk about anything. We will answer anything. We don't hold anything back. So if you're into that type of thing, follow us. See what we've got going on as we build it. Working awfully hard on. We did Elysium. We made Mad Skills. Yes, yeah.
This is the
Still do.
newest trail that Antgrass is working on. Antgrass typically does 3 trails a month on the open world map. So if you're part of the Patreon, or if you're thinking about joining the Patreon, one thing you get to look forward to on the Patreon is usually getting about 3 trails, new trails every month to play at and try out. December, not so much, just because the holidays, we were a little bit slower in December, but moving forward, we should be cooking at about 3 trails per month. Maybe more, because I'm going to start getting in there and making trails now that I've learned how to do it. So you can expect a few guest trails from myself.
Elysium, the difference between us and Descenders, it's really significant. Somebody on the other side, the other app, just now said that they came over from that game and initially thought it was the same. And when he went back to it after playing Crank, it really didn't feel like, it just felt like completely different games, and he was missing Crank. So it just feels so different. We've answered this question and tried to kind of give our perspective on how it's different, but I'm not sure that is super valuable. So I would suggest just getting the free playtest. You can get it on Steam right now. Just search for Cranked and hit the request playtest button. You'll get it right away, and you can play it and see for yourself if it's the other map that Joe was playing with the better graphics. You'll know if you like it or not quickly, and then, if it's not for you, cool. But it seems to be most people play it seem to like it. So maybe give it a shot. See what you think. Feels very different. The physics are super different. The gameplay is just so different. It's way more responsive. It's way more grounded. You feel like you're in control, and the bike's going where you want it to go. And because we all ride, we've all ridden 2-wheel vehicles. Hodge and I mostly motorcycles, and Joe always bikes. But Hodge and I are both riding bikes as well. We know what it feels like to ride, and we're trying to kind of not make it a super realistic game exactly, but to make the feeling of riding legit in this game. So I think you would notice if you play this that it feels like riding more than the other mountain bike. That's what I would say. But hey, play it and see what you think.
Oh, that's what I was trying to do, is
Dude,
gap the first
that
one
was
and
sick.
go all the way to the second one. Oh, man, it's hard.
How do you play open world, Mr. Ayulio? The way you play open world is by subscribing to our Patreon. We're self-funded. We all, Joe and I and 2 other guys put as much money as we could muster in to get this thing off the ground and to get it as far as it is right now. When we decided to try Patreon, where we give away premium content, where you can play everything we build as we go on the open world. And it's as little as $5 a month, and you can get every build that we release that month. You get to keep them for good, even if you stop subscribing. And you get to be a part of all the new trails that we've got. How many trails are on the open world now, Joe? Are we pushing 16 maybe on the open world, or not that many?
There's 9. Last Cedric and I counted, there was 9 raceable, and I think we had like 9 or 10 that don't have racing yet, or will never have racing. So we're pushing 20. We should have 20 here by the end of January. There should be 20 or more trails on the open world map.
Cool.
And the other thing,
And you'll find links to our Patreon in the bio if you guys want to check it out.
yeah, the other thing with the Patreon is that as we develop the game, Patreon members are going to get first access to everything, and sometimes only access to certain things up until the full launch. That was kind of a nice little tap. So like multiplayer, for example, multiplayer is not going to come to the playtest. Multiplayer is going to be restricted to the Patreon, you know, at least initially until the game fully launches. Same with other things like the core gameplay loop and going to the bike shop to customize your rider, and then you know, completing challenges and upgrading your lift ticket to be able to access more parts of the mountain, and like all of these core things that are going to be part of the base game in this open world map. The only way you'll be able to like play those things and try them out early is if you're in the Patreon. And then once, I think I'm halfway through the wood right now. Yeah, I don't think Cedric has implemented these fixed wood ones yet. But then once we launch early access on Steam, you know, the plan is to, like, you know, if you want to get early access, 2 earlies before access, you join the Patreon. If you just want to wait for early access when we get on Steam, you know, you can skip Patreon and wait, but it's going to be many months, maybe even longer, depending on how things go. So, but yeah, the biggest reason I think to support Patreon for us is that it just helps support development. All that money's going right back into development, and it will help make the game bigger, better. And your voices get heard. Like, the more people playing there, the more opinions we get, the more feedback we get, the better. Curious what topics you guys want to talk about. I kind of wanted this stream to be more about, you know, picking Hodge's brain and seeing, I don't know. So if you guys have things you're looking forward to seeing in the game, let's talk about it. We can talk about the technical side of things and what Hodge thinks about it and all that. So ask your questions and let's get going.
And as you're riding, Joe, throw a whip for a Kaike Brawl once they
let
see
me
a
go
whip.
session this huge hip and throw some whips for you.
And I'll answer Alan and ask a question if these are the final graphics. Alan, this is the open world map. None of these environment graphics have been touched yet. This is all just placeholder stuff. So no, far from it. We're not even 260 days into the development of this game, and it's only a handful of people working on it. So we're quite early. We're technically pre-alpha. Now the bike itself, the graphics are pretty far along because we just, it's the Frameworks downhill bike. If you guys are mountain bike people, you know what the Frameworks downhill bike is, and it's a faithful representation of that bike. And so I would say, do you think the bike itself is done at this point, Joe?
Mostly. There's still some issues with it. Like, there's a chain ring that's still spinning. The chain isn't really connected properly to the bike. It's really nitpicky little stuff that if you're a real rider and you really looked at this, you would see the issues. But from a perspective of around here, I think it looks pretty dialed.
Cool. And Holden Burt wants to know more about what you're talking about when it comes to the lift ticket and the lift in general.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
what we're developing here is an open world mountain. Like I said, ignore the graphics because they haven't been worked on. But I think this is 6 by 6 kilometers or 5 by 5. I don't know. It's huge. And it's going to get bigger too, because right now the backsides and the edges just cut off, and we're going to eventually make it into a full island. So it'll get even bigger than what it is now. But the plan is that you'll show up here, the base of the mountain, when you first start the game, and there's going to be 6 different bike lifts that you can take to the top, and only one will be unlocked in the beginning. So you need to take the one that is first unlocked, and it's going to take you up to this section where those 3 yellow beacons are, and that's going to be kind of this is like the beginner zone. All these trails you see right here, there's maybe like 7 or 8 trails in the beginner area, and you'll go to the top. You can look at your lift ticket, and your lift ticket will have a list of all the different challenges in that first region. So there'll be race challenges, there'll be trick challenges, there will be Easter eggs that you've got to find, there'll be hidden tracks, there's going to be hidden gear, all kinds of things that you can do in that area. And when you complete a certain amount of them, every time you go up to the top, go to the bottom, ride down, complete some challenges, go back to the lift. As you get back on the lift attendant will stamp your pass. So you can look at your pass, see all the challenges, the ones you've completed, the lift attendant will stamp. And then as you progress and you get enough of those stamps, you'll be able to go to the ticket office and upgrade your ticket to one that unlocks the next chairlift. And you kind of keep playing and you keep doing that until you unlock the entire mountain. And then there'll be a bike progression system inside of that. There'll be gear progression system as well. So there's like multiple different progression systems that you're progressing through the game. So that's the plan for how that works. If you have more questions, let me know. Is the Frameworks bike
speaking of
licensed?
gear, sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Jackson just said, is the Framework bike licensed? I mean, yeah, we've got an official approval from Frameworks to put this in the game, so it was a partnership with them.
Yeah, we won't put brands in the game if we're not on the same page with them. But speaking of which, we do have our first gear brand coming in the game. It's a biggie, and they'll be in the game relatively soon. Like at this point, I know Maggie's been a little under the weather, but I think it's one of her priorities here in the new year is getting this gear brand in crank soon, right, Joe? Isn't that the case?
Yeah, I need to talk to her when she gets back, but lots of things for her to do, and it's kind of, we got to decide what we want to do next. I think fixing up the riders is maybe priority, because when you're riding like this, I mean, it's, you know, the hands and the arms are very prominent in your face all the time. So like no matter what clips we're sharing or people are playing, you're always seeing the rider. So I think maybe priority is fixing that up. You know, it looks plasticky right now. The skin doesn't look like real skin. There's the wrist can break when you turn certain ways, and there's certain things there. So I feel like maybe fixing up the rider as the next task would be nice. I know she wants to get into this environment and start working on this environment art. We've got to do I almost said the brand. We've got to do the branded gear. We got to get the male rider back in here. She wants to work on the bike shop, getting the bike shop looking good. So there's lots of things to do. It's going to be kind of up to, I want to pick her brain and see what she's most excited to do and go from there. But I think probably the rider first, and then I think maybe starting to get some environment art done on this map, just to, you know, just the basics to start making this map look a little better would be nice.
Yep.
And the chairlift, you know, things that are part of the core loop, like the bike shop, the chairlifts, things like that, I want to get in sooner than later so we can start programming in the challenges and everything else, and start hey, look, there's a new time, and start testing the actual kind of flow of the core loop and everything.
Suiton's still hanging at the top of the leaderboard despite an influx of players. He's tough to knock off, man.
He's got
Joe
every
Clinton, too. I mean,
every time on this map, and I think he has probably, I wonder if he still has everyone on the other map.
Joby wants to know if Bigfoot's going to be in the game. We've talked about that a lot, Joby.
There will be a
Not putting
ton of
Bigfoot in
Easter
this
eggs.
game.
And a lot of people want Bigfoot, so good chance we'll probably have a Bigfoot somewhere.
And Shizzy House is saying, does he need to be holding down the gas button on the way down, or is it faster to coast? Very good question. I'm going to let you take that one too, Joe.
You know, I would like people's opinions on that. Right now, you can pedal up to a certain speed, and even if you keep holding pedal after a certain speed, it's not hurting or helping you. Like the rider will actually, the pedal animation stops, and when the pedal animation, like right now I'm holding pedal, they're not pedaling because they're going too fast to pedal. You know how it is in real life. Like after a certain speed, pedaling's not really doing much. So when you see the rider quit pedaling in the game, you can let go of pedal and coast, and it's the same as if you were holding pedal. But something to be said for maybe you don't want to hold pedal down the whole time. Like, should we have an auto pedal button? We do in Mad Skills. Like, we've got an auto throttle pedal, because it's like, why, you know, if most of the time you're going to be holding it. I've had the idea of just like having an auto one, so you just tap it to go and then it automatically pedals or whatever. I don't really want to do a mechanic where like pedaling becomes a thing you have to think about, where there's like pedal strikes, and if you pedal on the face of a jump, it's going to like throw you off balance, or like things that you do in real life that would screw you up. Because in real life, all that stuff becomes second nature, and it just becomes muscle memory, and you don't really think about pedaling after you've been riding a long time. And the point of this game was to make a game that kind of puts you in the seat of a pro rider, and you feel like a pro. So I think to have to think about pedaling is not how a pro would be riding, because they don't think about that. They just do it. So I don't know. I hate holding down the pedal button, Austin. Yeah, see, I agree. I kind of like, well, I don't know why I have to hold it the whole time. I kind of think it would be nice to just have an auto pedal as an option, and you can tap it. And then I think if you held the pedal button, if you have auto, we do it like Matt goes, if you have auto pedal enabled, holding this trigger will then coast you. So if you don't want to pedal, you could like pull it to just quit pedaling, and then let go again to continue pedaling, which could be interesting, I think. Does the suspension
Hey,
work
Hodge,
when you ride?
Hefe on
Yes, it does.
Hefe on TikTok says you need to be showing your guitars as well. Hodge, you got a guitar to put up in the background there?
No, I don't. I am not musically inclined at all.
I took my strings, where I have to change the bone in the bridge of my guitar, so it has no strings. But I'm gonna remedy that tonight.
Boom.
I keep hitting the wrong buttons. Yes, you can do backflip, front flips. There you go, Skate. Just did a few for you. How do I play, Zach? If you're on PC, Mac, or Linux, you can go to Steam and download the free Steam play test right now and get playing right away. How in depth is the suspension going to work? So are we going to have... so will there be gears and stuff, Evan? No. We had a long conversation about it earlier, about tuning and stuff. So as of right now, the plan is to probably not do a tuning system or anything like that. The suspension works and all that stuff. There'll be different bike classes and they'll all feel different. But within a bike class, there probably won't be too much tuning or anything. But we'll see how things go. Can you do stoppies or nose manuals? You will be able to someday. Right now, it's kind of broken and like it's too sensitive and it doesn't balance right, but it's on the list of things to fix. What else? Tips on how to go faster. Ty the Great, I don't know if you're still here, but I would say join the Discord and talk to the top guys there. But one of the things that you should learn early on, any of you guys trying to like learn how to go faster, is start messing with timing of your jumps. It's very if you want to go higher, pop at the top. Like if I want to go high, you know, I want to jump at the very top of a lip. If I want to go long, pop at the bottom of the lip, and you kind of jump over the steep part of the lip when you pop at the bottom. So like practice that. Also practice with how much you're holding the stick down before you flick it up. If you just go down and up very quickly, it'll be a smaller jump. So you can really like tune the height of your jump, and the more you play, the more it becomes muscle memory, and you kind of get good at really feeling it, and kind of becomes like in, you know, like in real life, you just kind of know it feels natural to figure out like how much you need to pop or not. And it's the same way in this game. So that's like one big tip. The other one is really just trying to have smooth inputs, trying to be as smooth as you can around corners. You know, if you're doing like jerky movements like this, it's gonna slow you down. You'll lose traction. I don't know. Anyone else here got tips?
You don't want tips from me. Tails, I saw Tails is hanging out over there. He can give some people tips on the YT
You know,
side of things.
practice scrubbing. We're gonna work on scrubbing more, but basically leaning the sticks over. Like if, you know, there's sometimes when you want to stay low, and you know, you can pre-hop early is one way to do it. The other way to do it is to kind of lean the sticks over and scrub, like right there. Scrubbing made it almost so I didn't even clear that. Is this a new trail? No, this isn't new. It's part of the open world map though. So if you're on the free playtest, you don't have access to this. You got to join Patreon to get all these trails. There's a ton in here though.
Derek, what's up, brother? My fellow Mountaineer in the house. Let's go Mountaineers. We got that basketball win the other night against Cincinnati. That was nice.
See for the pepperoni roll update, dude. Don't talk about pepperoni rolls when I can't get them, man. That's like very offensive and mean.
Dude, I was out by the gas station the other day, right at lunchtime, hungry, swung in, got one right out of the oven. It was dripping with grease. I had to have like 8 or 10 napkins to get through that thing. It was so perfect.
Sounds delicious.
Sorry. Do you have those down there in El Paso, Joe?
I don't got anything here except enchiladas and tacos. But I like it.
Here's a tip from Tails, one of our best players. He says, land smooth and try to avoid bumps a lot, whether that be by jumping over them or taking a different line. That's his advice.
There you go.
There's tons of lines on these trails, all of them.
You know, let me go play one that's
sometimes
more rough. While you talk about it.
Yeah, sometimes there's an obvious line. That's usually the one I'm taking, and you know, it'll get you down maybe the most safely initially, and then as you get good at it, you start to dial the trails, and you find other quicker lines and ways to gap things that no mortal would gap. But if you're watching a UCI downhill race, you see these superheroes gap. That happens in this game too. Like slow guys like me go down the easy way, and fast guys like Tails go down the hard way, and much faster way. And Joe too, he's one of the fast guys.
This game's very much, you know, line choice is very. I was like, you know, when we originally started making the game, we were thinking like, okay, what's super important when we go ride in real life? And you know, I think the main one for me was line choice. It's like it's all about what line you take. You know, you're trying to take the smoothest line possible, the fastest line. You're trying to downside stuff, find little gaps here and there to keep your speed up. So we wanted to make sure line choice was carried over into this game as much as possible, and it really is. Like even little bumps in the terrain that you can barely see will affect you. So you know, the top guys are finding ways to avoid those things, or downside jumps instead of like rolling them, and all kinds of different things. So line choice, you know, I think we've noticed that real riders are naturally a little bit quicker at this game than people who've never ridden before, just because they're used to like picking out lines and they've got that vision of where they should go and looking ahead in the trail and stuff. So that's definitely one of the key parts of the game, and one of the best ways to get faster is really like just focusing on the line choice, replaying the track a bazillion times and trying to focus on different lines, find out what's faster. Someday I want to add in a system where you can create your own sector, like a flying sector. You know, so if you want to dial in one section and figure out what the fastest line is, you put your spawn point, and then you put your sector start and end point, and you know, just start doing little laps in that little section and really kind of honing it in and figuring it out. And I think that'll take, you know, these top guys are going to take things to the next level once they have tools like that to be able to really grind. Because like, for example, this section down here at the end of this trail is what, like 1 minute and 40 seconds into the trail, and it's the hardest part of the trail, and I'm probably going to screw it up. But if I could just sit here and practice this section, see, screwed it up. But if I could just sit there and practice that one section 100 times in a row, I would get way better at it. People are asking what this trail is, how do they get it? This is on the open world map. It's called Siggy Stardust. If you want access to this, you got to join the Patreon. The Patreon's $5 a month. We've got 9 race trails in here, about 9 other trails that are not raceable yet. You can wander around this place freely, and new trails. About 3 trails get added every month. So for $5 a month, you can join Patreon, get access to this map, help support development, and have more stuff to play.
Speaking of bringing the drone up, we have an idea. Joe's has an idea of bringing sort of FPV drone play into this game as well. So you could be playing one form of multiplayer. Is you could be riding, racing, having fun, and someone else could be controlling the drone and following you. And it's kind of like they're playing a drone game almost, but they have a subject to record, and that subject is playing a mountain bike. So that's something we've talked about doing in the future.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Hodge, how fast are you, Hodge, at this game? And now that you're on staff and now that you're working with us full time, are you starting to notice yourself getting faster? Because I'm sure you're playing more.
I don't know. Usually when I'm testing, I'm not, you know, doing the whole trail, but I don't know if I have any times on the open world map, but on the demo map, when we reset the leaderboards, I was probably 2nd or 3rd page. I've probably fallen quite a bit since then, but I would consider myself maybe like the top 75%, I would say.
Okay. All right, cool. Owen is asking about how how this compares to Descenders. We get this, excuse me, we get this a lot. It's super different. The physics feel so different. It's way more grounded. The bike's way more responsive. It really goes where you want it to go. It's not slippery and slidey. I think most people who play this game and are into mountain bikes in real life can tell this one was made by people who are also into mountain biking and action sports in general. But there's a free playtest on Steam. You can just go there and search for Cranked and hit the request playtest button. You can get this build right now for free. Well, not this one. This is the open world build that only our Patreon subscribers get. It has more trails. This is what the game will be ultimately. This has all placeholder art, so none of this art other than the bike is close to final. But the free playtest version that you can get on Steam has better art, updated art. It's actually our art. It's still a work in progress, but it's much better than this. And you can get it and play it right now for free, and you'll have a pretty good idea if this game's for you or not. Play it. I think you'll see it doesn't feel like Descenders. One of our friends on YouTube said he came from Descenders and played it a lot, and after playing this for a while, he went back to it and played it and was having a hard time because it's so different, and this is a lot more responsive. So, you want to check it out? Check it out. Full free. Lil Young Casper, who has a pretty great rap name. I mean, Lil Young Casper, if that's not a rap name, I don't know what is, says, is it made from mouse and keyboard or controller? Mostly controller, but Joe is Joe was considering pulling keyboard controls from the game just because we're a small team and they're hard to get right, and it feels like this game should be a controller game, but so many people use keyboard that we're still considering the idea of making the. Did you make a decision on that earlier, Joe, or are you just kind of leaning toward the direction of trying to make keyboard work?
Did you miss the first like 20 minutes, bro?
I mean, I know we talked about it, but you can't expect me to remember like anything.
Nah, Hodge is gonna start working on keyboard controls once he's done fixing up some of these bugs. So probably next week, Hodge, you think?
No.
Yeah, I'd say so.
The main thing is though to keep in mind, Joe, is I did miss the first 20 minutes, but the guy who just asked the question just missed the first 20 minutes. So you might, if I ask you a question, sometimes I know the answer to it. I'm doing it for the benefit of somebody else. I mean, you and I have talked about this directly, so I kind of know what the plan is. But I want to make sure people who are curious about it know.
I guess what
What's up,
threw me
Tom?
off was
Good
I
to
was
see you, man.
instead of answering yourself, you asked me, but you're probably just trying to spread it around.
I'm just including you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Dusty, and it's not just Descenders. It's very different than Descenders. For sure, try the free play test on Steam, and you'll see for yourself. See what you think. Quite different.
Currently on the longest track in the game. I think this is the longest racetrack in the game. We're gonna see if we can get a run here. It takes me a while to get a run here because it's ridiculous track, but combines 2 trails into one, which we're gonna have a lot of in the main game. I think we'll do a lot of like a track of the week type deal or trail of the week, where we we can, because a lot of these trails kind of have it's like in real life. There's like you get to a break in the trail, and then it branches off into 3 or 4 different trails, and then you go down there a little and it breaks off again, and so it creates opportunity for us to create race trails that have different smaller trails connected in different ways. So maybe one week it'll be like, hey, trail of the week is this trail plus this trail plus this trail, and then the next week it mixes them up a little different. So there's gonna be tons of different options for race trails in this game once it's done. And Ancrast is like,
Have you said what day?
go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you've said what day we are on. We're still in pre-alpha. This is a very early
258,
game
I
that's
think.
being built in public. So, what is it?
258.
Day 258. So, this game's been in the works for about 258 days with a very small team. It's in pre-alpha, super early. These are all placeholder graphics, but you can play it on Steam. Sign up for the free play test, and you'll get it immediately. And when you actually experience the physics in this game, you get a pretty good idea of what we're trying to do, and it certainly feels different than any of the other games out there. So try it, give it a shot.
I saw a
Especially
question.
if you ride mountain bikes in real life.
Yeah. I saw a question, will there ever be a speed tuck? Sorry, I lost to... Oh, I can't even tell what your username is because it doesn't show up. Or was that someone else? Freddie, will there be a speed tuck in the game? Well, that's a conversation we've been having in our Discord, actually. Someone proposed that as an idea. I think multiple people have over the course of things, but I don't know. There's a lot of design decisions. A lot of these things sound like, hey, put in speed tuck, that's cool, and then you start thinking about all the details of it, and it becomes a lot more complicated than just a speed tuck, because you don't want to make it to where all of a sudden, if all it is you just tuck and you're faster, then the meta becomes just tuck everywhere you go, and I don't really want to have to like hold down and tuck everywhere I go. That doesn't become fun anymore. So then you have to figure out, okay, well then tucking has to have a disadvantage because we want to prevent people from doing it all the time. So maybe when you're tucked, you've got less control. But then also tucking right now down is also how you prepare for your bunny hop. So if tucking all of a sudden has less control, does that mean every time you go to crouch down before you bunny hop, you also have less control during that second or two when you're crouching down? So then you've got to figure out how to deal with that. So we've been discussing it and trying to figure out different ways if we even want to do it. I'm on the fence right now, and I'm probably leaning more towards we don't need a speed tuck feature. Like, the game's already deep enough. The skill gap is huge. The top guys are way faster than the slow guys. Like, I don't feel like there needs to be more mechanics to separate that even more. But I don't know. So it's an ongoing conversation with us and the community, and if you guys have thoughts in chat, let us know, and we'll talk about it right now. As we are about to get a time on this trail that took way less attempts than I thought it would. Let's see where we sit. Second place. Suit, and you're going down, dude. I only have 14 seconds to shave. That's not even hard. Just kidding, that's impossible.
Hodge, what are some of your favorite games of all time that you played, when you were younger, that you still play, etc.? What are some of the things that really had an impact?
Well, unfortunately, they're all motocross games. So Ricky Carmichael's MX 2002 was one that kind of got me set on my gaming journey and kind of made me want to become a game developer. Motocross Madness.
Really? That game did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Super weird playing on the Xbox original. So.
No, I loved that game. I actually raced Ricky at that game.
Oh, really?
Like, as I was working for Racer X at the time, and I did a little piece about that game, and he and I had a little showdown. I think we were at Unadilla, and I raced him at that game. And I was better than he was, but I choked, and he was his typical calm self, and he beat me in the one. Yeah. It was like one run. Set the time. That was it. No redos, no restarts, nothing like that.
Mm.
You beat me.
Oh, that's sick. That's like a dream right there, playing against him. I did play against Ryan Sipes in his motorhome. When I forgot the game, but yeah, that was pretty neat too. So, but MX Simulator, I played that for a long time. Raced a little bit of pro racing. That just kicked off last night actually for the 26th season. Then right now I've just been playing MX bikes. So I was in a
Nice.
Counter Strike for I don't know 8 years and kind of stopped playing that whenever they released CS2. So, but yeah, mostly motocross games for me.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm
Bo
not
was
playing,
asking
guys. I
if
need to-
someone can send the Discord link. Do we still have a Discord link in the link in bio, Joe? I think we probably do.
Discord.gg/cranked. I'll try to post it, but I think there it's in chat. But I don't know if they were
Cool,
asking on
thank you.
which side of thing. I like how when I go to
got
pin my own comment, it says not approved. I can't pin my own link. It's like TikTok, you're ridiculous.
And all
I'm
of a sudden our
trying-
viewers drop.
Yeah, I know. What am I trying to do here? I want to pull up something special. Hold on a sec. This will be worth it. You guys keep talking while I figure something out.
I was at a bar in my town last night with my girlfriend and some friends, and was talking to a guy, and he was telling me about how he was really into Dave Mira's BMX game. So he was real pumped about getting a chance to try. Crank, you used to play a Mira's game, didn't you, some Joe?
All the time, dude. Like nonstop. I'm
It's
hoping
one of
when
the
I
goods of the
open
PS2 era.
What was that?
So that game was one of the goats of the PS2 era.
Oh yeah.
Did you play it as well, Hodge?
Yeah. Played that one quite a bit. I actually still have my disc somewhere. I gotta see if my PlayStation works though.
I just wanted to see like how much people are paying attention. I'm gonna do a little something right now. How can I do this? Oh, you could do it. Sorry, I don't mean to be boring, but it'll be worth it. One of you will be happy once I figure out what I'm doing.
All right. That's interesting.
I think I know. I won't say anything though.
So tell me a little more, Hodge, about your moto racing career. Like how fast are you? When did you start riding? What class? Did you still race, or you just mostly ride at this point? What's your experience on a dirt bike?
I mean, right now I'm pretty slow. Just trying to get back into it after I don't know, like 5 years off. So I'm actually planning on racing this weekend indoor at Mega Tracks in Illinois. But I started riding when I was like 8 or 9. Started out on a CRF 100, which is a trail bike, and then graduated to an 85. Started racing. Went to 125. Started racing schoolboy. A little bit of B class. I never tried to go to Loretta's. I raced a couple of areas here and there, but mostly like local stuff. And I think I raced pretty much up until I was, I want to say like 20, 21, 22, and stopped for a little bit. But yeah, never went anywhere with it. Just kind of doing it for fun, and I just enjoy riding my dirt bike and catching some air sometimes. And I don't know, yeah, just kind of living the lifestyle.
Right on. Have you always been a Honda guy, or you still riding Honda?
No. So I started out on a Honda. That was my first bike, and then I went to Kawasaki's 85, 125, 250F, 450F, and then a couple of years ago I was like, kind of want to try something else, and got a CRF 450. It's a pretty good bike, I'll say, but I really miss a Cowie. I like the Rider Triangle a lot on the Cowies, so maybe the next one I'll switch back.
Cool. You got this teed up, Joe?
Someone's getting us free Steam key. It's on the screen right now. Someone probably already claimed it. If you claim it and you got it, let us know. There you go. Free Steam key. If you claim that right now, you'll get everything we've got in the game that Patreon people get, so you get open world and everything. But there you go. I'm gonna start giving away more keys secretly in around. So see if who's paying attention. But there you go.
Cool.
Ba-ba-ba-ba. Back to playing. Where can you claim it? If you're asking where you can claim it, it's probably too late. Steam key. Got to claim it on Steam. See if we can get a faster time. Any other topics of discussion that you guys want to bring up, or anyone in chat wants to bring up?
I got one from Adam Morgan, who's hanging out with us pretty much every week. Adam, I can't think of too many of these things that we've done where you didn't show up. Always stoked to see you. He asks, is pumping still off the table?
I'm curious what Hodge thinks, but here's my opinions on it, and I would love to hear people in chat's opinions as well. I've yet to play a game where I thought pumping felt really fun and intuitive, and like it became muscle memory. And I feel like every game's got a pump mechanic, and every time I play the game, I'm like, how do I pump again? I got to look it up, and it's like it just never feels good. And I thought, we'll be the first ones to make one feel good, and we tried, and it's actually kind of hard. So we've put it on the side for now, but I do know that if one of our goals, or at least one of my goals for this game, is that it becomes kind of an all bikes open world adventure awesomeness 500, and that's the name of the game now. But someday I want like BMX bikes and other things, and if you have a BMX bike with BMX racing, you're gonna have to have a pumping mechanic. So at some point we'll have a pumping mechanic. I think we did try one in the past, and it didn't feel natural with the physics. It felt like something added on top and kind of artificial, and we really want this game to be focused on the physics and feel intuitive and flowy and fun. So if we can't make a pump mechanic that feels good like that, then we're not gonna add it just for the sake of adding it.
Captain Jax, who's quite a fast player, says, due to the physics, you basically already have pumping. What's your response to that?
Yeah, I mean, what you're trying to do is like naturally downside things and kind of pump and like flow. Like, you know, there's kind of that there, but we're not giving people like a speed boost if they like hit a certain button at the certain place in the transition, like how most games do pumping. It's like, okay, find the sweet spot of the transition, hold this button down, release it at this spot, and then boom, you get a little boost. Like, we're not doing anything like that. But, you know, the idea of trying to like find the line, smooth out your trail, find the smooth line, try to downside things, pump around, jump around, like that is all definitely part of the game. Like, as you see me like jumping in these little areas, kind of pre-hopping, trying to downside, like that's kind of our version of pumping, which feels more intuitive and natural, in my opinion. But curious what you think, Hodge.
Suiton says, I'll say real quick before Hodge jumps in, Suiton says, if you want to pump, you got to get good. And Suiton would know because he's leading literally every leaderboard on the open world. Is that right?
Yeah. Probably in the game.
What do you think, Hodge?
Yeah, I don't know. So BMX Streets, they have a pretty good pumping mechanic, but I find myself mostly just holding down the stick to pump. So I don't think it's like super intuitive. I will say the only like pumping mechanic I've actually enjoyed was Mad Skills BMX 2. I thought that one was pretty good, but the thing is with a phone, it's a lot less complex than the current input for a controller. So
especially a 2D side scroller, you know?
Yeah. So I feel like it'd be, if we were to add something like that, it probably wouldn't be as intuitive as we would like it to be. And like people have already mentioned, it's kind of already built into the game in a way, just the way the physics work. And I don't know, be something that we could definitely explore in the future, but I don't know if it's needed.
Yeah, I think it'll be more needed, you know, like if we do get a BMX bike in and we start working on like a proper BMX racetrack and like testing that, you know, if what we have in the game now doesn't feel good on a BMX bike, like pumping through a proper BMX style track, you know, then we'll probably start tweaking things and try to make that feel as good as possible. And then whether or not that transfers over to the other bike types, we'll have to see. But you know, I think something like a dirt jumper and a BMX bike, you know, like I can imagine doing like some pump, you know, like some kind of dual slalom pump type trails on like a dirt jumper in the game too, which could be fun. So I think there'll be times in the future where we need to look into it again, but right now on the downhill bike, it's not a priority, because like Suiton, the best player in the game, said there's already you know, just already kind of pumping naturally, and you just got to get good at it.
You were talking about Mad Skills BMX. Joe and I are on the OG team that made the Mad Skills mobile games, Mad Skills Motocross and BMX. You guys didn't know that, but I always liked Mad Skills BMX 1 mechanic, the swipe
Yep.
mechanic up and down. I thought
Hell
that was
yeah.
super innovative. I thought it was super cool. I'd never seen anybody do anything quite like it before. Really loved that game. I always liked BMX 2 as well, but for me, Mad Skills BMX 1 gameplay and the way you used the swipe, I just thought was super cool.
Me too. I love that, and I always wanted to bring it back. I think the way the controls are in Mad Skills BMX 2 is better for like sweaty, fast, competitive players because your inputs can be quicker. But I agree with you that that was like super innovative and intuitive and fun, and it just felt right. Like you would swipe down to pump, swipe up to jump, and then swipe left or right to front or backflip. Oh man, love that game back in the day. I wish it was still around.
Chill wants a pump mechanic so he can properly manual thing. That's it.
I thought about, and this is one thing I've thought about, but I don't know how it would affect other things. The problem with all these ideas I have is that like it sounds cool on paper, and then you go to put it in the game and you realize it messes with physics everywhere else. But I had an idea if like you were in a manual, like if you manual through rollers, that it would just like automatically kind of like suck you down and like pump you through the rollers, so that you could like a manual and do stuff in rollers like that. Fun, but I think then I think it would screw up other parts of the physics, and then you got people that are just like wheeling everywhere because it's going to keep them planted more and other things. So I don't know.
I wonder if we could do that kind of like a base, like over little bumps and stuff, but not the bigger ones.
Yeah. Because you know,
if anybody's hanging with us and good.
sorry, before we go to another topic, that was what was super fun in Mad Skills BMX was like you get to a set of rollers and you just hold down and you just pump through all of them, and it like felt so I don't know, it felt so satisfying. Like even though it was just like holding down one button to pump through them, it was fun. So if we could replicate that feeling in here at some point, that'd be cool.
If anybody on TikTok, are you seeing like a whole ton of comments come from the Cranked account? I'm just trying to respond to some stuff on the desktop app, and when I hit enter one time, I'm seeing like 40 comments on there. I'm not hitting it 40 times, so I don't know what's
I don't
going
see
on.
your comments
If
at
it's
all.
only me seeing it, I'm not too. You don't? Okay, good.
No.
I see one that you posted just a little bit ago.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure everybody wasn't seeing what I'm seeing, which literally right now, 10 stacked exact comments that I made last time. That's all I see. It's working well.
Patreon members, that second kicker on this trail that I just hit, we did move forward a little bit, so that's no longer incredibly hard to hit. So this trail's playable again, at least for me. Before it was like unplayable, I couldn't even get through that.
I was going to say, if anybody's hanging on either of these lives and you're in the comments and you see Bird Shizzle, that's Birdshaw. He is our colleague, very close friend of ours, old friend of ours, works with us on Turbarilla on the Mad Skills games, has for many years. He runs kind of live ops there. He sets up the weekly jams, and I mean, I probably will miss a lot of the things that he does, but he's kind of the Johnny on the spot guy, always responding to so many things socially and on Discord and so forth. So that's Birdshaw. He knows what he's talking about. He's not officially on the Crank team with us. He needs to stick with the Mad Skills stuff to keep it rolling. But he hangs out with us here a lot of times, and we appreciate it. Always good to see you here, buddy.
Shout out for the extra time on MSM League.
Yeah.
Anyone, did anyone
he sets up all that stuff.
Anyone successfully claim that Steam key? Anyone see anyone comment? I don't know.
I didn't see anybody say they got it. Of course, all I can see on my screen on the TikTok side is the 4,000 versions of my comment the last I made. So I won't know for a while until this clears out somehow.
The dirty trick
Nice.
I'm going to
Caden's
do
downloading
is...
the playtest right now. Very cool,
Sick.
Caden. Thank you.
The dirty trick I'm going to do is every stream I'm just going to share that exact same Steam key, and everyone who's going to grab it is going to be like, oh, it was already claimed. And they're just going to think they were late when really I've only given away one ever. Just kidding, guys. I'm not going to do that.
I just saw we got from 60V Kai, Rose, a couple of roses. Thank you so much for the gifts. And a bunch of people followed us on TikTok. If you're hanging out with us for the first time, please consider following us. Self-funded indie effort. We pulled our money together to make this game. It's very early. We come from action sports, motocross, mountain biking. This game's about 258 days in development. You can play the free playtest on Steam. Just head to Steam and search for Cranked and hit the request playtest button. You'll get it right now. You can play it and see what you think. Third person's a work in progress. Joe just switched over to for a second.
Oh, come on. This is going to be a run, guys. Maybe. Yep. No, we're good. We got it.
Up 2 seconds. Look at all that green over there. Oh, you're good. You're good.
I was a little worried, though.
It was pretty close.
I was a little worried.
Wow, you're up 2 some, and you're taking some chances here, but you're good. Wow, dude. Nice burner. Damn.
Let's see where we're at.
That's got to show some movement. Damn.
I still haven't broke that habit, Hodge, where I go back and forth to reload the leaderboard, even though I don't have to do that anymore.
Dude, how's Sutton have 13 seconds on you?
Because
Yeah,
he's
that's
the best,
insane.
dude. He's ridiculous. Sudin, we better not. This better not be like Trackmania, where in a couple years we find out you've been cheating this whole time. I'll tell you what. I will come over there and.
Sutton's way too involved in this community for that.
Yeah, no, I know.
Too stand-up a guy.
I'm
But
cool
it
with
does
second.
remind me of that fisherman who got caught years ago putting weights in his fish. Did you guys ever see that? Went around social media for a while.
Yeah.
Some of his competitors were finally sick of it. They went over and cut one open, and a bunch of lead weight came out of the
Yeah.
thing. Dude was shunned.
Hilarious.
I don't really know the details, but the little bit that I saw on social media seemed like kind of a crazy scandal on the bass fishing tour.
Start ripping another track. This one is not techie at all, so you know this is very fast, flowy. It's almost just like 2 straights with a turn, but it's or 2 turns actually, but it's super fun. So we'll rip this for a little bit, see if I can get a better time. I have trouble
Nice.
getting faster.
Drew
Ooh, we
Bennett,
already
thank
got
you
green
for the-
lights.
Thanks for the heart, Drew Bennett. Appreciate it, brother.
That's right. We're gonna send it down for practice anyway. Just a couple gates. First rip.
There is Drew, a third person. Joe prefers playing in first, so he normally does, and third is still very much a work in progress, but we're working on it. And it's important to us. We want to get it right.
Missed a gate.
What's your take on the challenges of making third person right, Hodge?
Good
How do you feel
conversation.
about
Let's
that?
hear that.
I mean, I guess I don't really look at it as like a challenge. I just do what feels good, I guess. So every game's different. I'd say for this one, the camera needs to follow the player a little bit more. There's kind of a lot of damping, trying to follow the rider. So, yeah, definitely needs to be reworked for sure, though.
What were we on? I forgot. Paper.
Sure, Unity just crashed, Joe. Is that what happened?
The game. It's that crash that Hodge and I have been trying to, mostly Hodge has been trying to nail down, but he thinks he found it, so it should be fixed soon. Connor for joining Patreon
Nice.
11 minutes ago. I don't know if we already called that out, but Connor, if you're in chat, appreciate that.
Nice, Connor. How much is Cranked? Kay is asking. Well, it's still in pre-alpha, so it hasn't been released. It won't be released for a while, but you can actually get it now if you subscribe to our Patreon. You'll find you can see, depending on how you're looking at the screen right now, you might see a URL on the screen, or you can get the link in the bio, or just go to Patreon and search for Crank. But for as little as $5, you would get a month of our Patreon. That'll give you every build that we release during that month. You get to keep them for good. They've got a lot more trails than the free playtest that you can get on Steam has right now. Of course, if you don't have that, you can start there if you want. I think we said about 18 on here. We want to try to get to where we have 20 trails, about half of them raceable here relatively soon, before we spend too much time on the environment graphics here. And you know, it's $5 a month. You can continue to subscribe for a while, and if you accumulate $50 of Patreon pledge over time, you'll get a key for the final release of the game as well. And you support indie development by a bunch of action sports 2-wheel guys. Yeah, you're pretty fast, Joe.
Did we go up? I had a 47.0. So yeah, we moved up a couple spots there. Hey, look at me. I'm next to myself. Joe Unity and Joe, those are both me. See if we can go a little faster. If you fast guys in chat have tips for me on this trail specifically, let me know and let's see if we can get faster together and give the rest of the people in chat some friendly advice.
Heck yeah.
Trying to do the little push forward thing that who's good at that? Is that Suitin that you do that, or one of you guys, or was it Chill Clinton or something? But I know one of you guys are always doing that thing on this trail. Oh, man, we're getting there. We're getting it. We're feeling it tonight. Ooh, boy, usually these streams
Suitin says
slow.
left stick forward on takeoff. Suitin says.
One thing that's different than us in Descenders is like the ability to lean the bike in the air really nicely. So like leaning into berms and stuff. It was really fun. It's one of the most fun parts of this game in my opinion. Whoa, a 1.5 seconds, guys.
You're feeling it, man.
We're getting up there. I got a couple seconds to go to try to get Suitin. We're gonna go. We're gonna get there.
Have you and Joe, Ant Grass, who is our trail builder, if you all know who Ant Grass is, have you guys talked about adding seesaws in? I know you haven't done too much in the way of like hand built things. We've got planks and we've got, basically skinnies and stuff. How about like seesaws that you have to slow down or else you'll hit them like a jump and hit a tree or something like that. But if you slow down, you got to figure out how to time it right to navigate it well. What do you think?
Yeah, we haven't talked about any of that actually, but that's a good point. I would like to get some stuff in the environment that's like interactive like that, but we'll probably need Hodge to help with it. But yeah, absolutely, we need to get that stuff in there. I think that's a great idea. No, we haven't had that conversation yet.
Have you ridden a seesaw before?
No, I don't think so.
Me either.
I don't think they're technically
you'd have
hard
to
to
be at a
ride. They're just
bike
kind of
park
a
or-
fun thing,
Yeah. I think it might feel interesting though.
Yeah,
I'd like to try it.
I would too.
It doesn't seem difficult.
When we go to Rays, we'll try it.
Yeah. Joe,
Anyone-
I live in Morgantown, West Virginia, which is a few hours from Cleveland. That's where Ray's is, right? In Cleveland, I think.
Yeah.
Ray's Bike Park. We are. It's our bucket list for us to head over to. He'll fly here and we'll road trip over to Cleveland and ride. Anybody in the comments ever ride Ray's Bike Park in Cleveland? If so, I want to know how much fun you had.
I want to really bad. I will drive there and ride with you guys.
Oh, dude, little session, syndicate
Nice.
session.
That'd be sick.
Someone in chat was asking what track is this, Lewis? This is called Paper Wings. It's on the open world map. If you're part of the Patreon, you get access to this map. Very fast, flowy, a bunch of long and lows. It's really one of my favorite trails just because this jump right here, watch this scrub. You ready? You just scrub coming around that corner. I screwed it up, but that corner is so much fun. That jump. Will you add trails that exist in real life? User 9611932677916. Yes, we plan to. We probably won't in this map because this is like our own kind of open world map that we're working on. But our hope is that, in the past, like in Mad Skills, we partnered with Red Bull. We did Red Bull Straight Rhythm replicas, full-on Red Bull Straight Rhythm event replicas, like where we had an event in the game, branded in partnership with Red Bull. Winners would like win real-life Red Bull helmets, and James Lambert, the winner of the first one, got sent out to the official event and got a whole package. And we've done stuff like that in the past in the other games we've worked on, and our hope is to be able to do that in this game. It really comes down to how successful the game is, how many people are playing. If there's tons of people playing this game and it becomes the most popular mountain biking game, then those big brands are definitely going to want to get in here and partner with us. So a lot of that stuff's just going to come later on down the road after the game's released and we've got a player base established and things like that. But imagine Red Bull Hardline, replica event, replica course, replica everything. Be fun. Suitin's already
Josh Butcher
excited to
says,
win
"Will you
that replica
guys
helmet."
please remove the tree at the start of Catlagrotten?" I've seen that comment a couple times today from him, so I just wanted to at least make sure his voice was heard. He doesn't like the tree at the beginning of Catlagrotten.
Look,
Sure, my
if
pronunciation
you-
of that Swedish word is perfect.
Like I said earlier, I don't believe in deforestation. The tree is, we can't remove that tree. I could move it, but if you go straight out the gate, you're not going to hit it. It's just if you cut right. So I don't know. I've had another person ask me to remove a rock because they keep hitting the rock, and it's like, I mean, it's there for you to avoid. Don't hit it. I don't know. I can see that tree a little.
Shizzy been hanging with us today. Shizzy House says he thinks this game's going to pop off. Man, I hope so. Thank you. Appreciate you saying that. We're working hard at it, and we get that a lot from people who play it. We don't always get that from people who haven't played it yet, but so far the people who play it seem to be digging it a lot. Good sign that we're moving in the right direction.
Hodge, we got there's another bug. I don't know if you ever get that bug. And I think it's related to this. If I'm in the start gate and I hit the, if I go forward a tiny bit and then hit the brake, that happens. It disappears.
I think I got that earlier today for the first time.
Yeah, you can replicate it easily. Go forward, tap the brake every time. But sometimes when you're playing a race and then you like crash and you respawn, it does that. But I don't know. I'm assuming that it's related somehow because sometimes it ends up looking like this and then you got to double tap and get back in there.
Yeah.
It's not super big deal because I mean you just tap it again and restart, so that's why I haven't really focused on prioritizing that. And the other one is like you've probably seen where you respawn and it's like the camera's messed up and it's like in the body and it's like the character's all leaning over and falling, and I don't know how that one triggers, but that happens every now and then. Have you ever had that one, Hodge?
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah. All right, let's take this offshoot. So a lot of the fun trails on the open world map are cool because they branch. It's like a real world, you know, we're trying to replicate a real world bike park here. So it's not like the demo map, where the demo map is kind of like all the trails are at the top and they just kind of go to the bottom and in separate areas, and none of them really connect, except for Cat LaGrotten and Livsphilia. But this map is different. Like this map, there's just trails upon trails upon trails. They branch off, they connect, different ones. There's little offshoots here and there. There's little like secret areas. So it's really fun in this map to just kind of explore and find new stuff. And every time we update the game, see right there, that was it. We get more and more. Let's go up here and just kind of like free ride some stuff. Brian, you want to do another like quick rundown? I think some people are asking how to get the game. What's it called?
Yeah. So this game is called Cranked. If you're just joining us, we're a small indie team of 3 of the 4 people who have founded this company called Session Syndicate are from Turborilla, who made Mad Skills Motocross and Mad Skills BMX. If you guys know those games, we've been making games for a long time. This is a self-funded indie game called Cranked. Joe's a longtime mountain bike rider and just bike rider in general, and Hodge and I are from the moto industry, but just about everybody on this team rides something in one way or the other, trying to make a game where quality is the only real consideration. There'll never be any type of microtransactions or free-to-play stuff in this game. We're always going to just try to make it based on what's going to be good. You can play it right now. The playtest version, which has better graphics than what you're seeing right now, the free playtest, is live on Steam now. You can just head to Steam and search for Cranked and you'll find it. Hit the request playtest button and you'll get instant access. Everyone's in. Or you can support us on Patreon, which gets you this open world map that Joe is playing right now. The graphics haven't been updated yet, but it has way more trails. Almost 20. We're pushing 20 trails, about half of which are raceable. Not even 260 days into this project, a very active Discord. We talk with our community. We're building this thing with a lot of people who are actual riders in real life, trying to make the thing feel like you're actually riding when you play. We're not going for hyper realism. We're going for a nice blend, but we want it to feel like riding when you play. One other thing I'll say about Patreon is if you do support us there, for as little as $5 a month, you get every build that we release during that month. You get to keep those builds. And if you accumulate $50 of pledging over time on Patreon, you'll get a key for the final release of the game. So it's kind of a way to buy it in installments, help with the development, get all kinds of fun builds, test things out, test experimental things that we try out, etc. Did I miss anything, fellas?
That's good. Solid. Best one yet.
We have a fun Discord. It's super active. All kinds of people hanging over there. Find us on Discord. There's a link in the bio if you want to check that out. And Hodge is over there. I haven't been spending as much time there lately because I've been crazy busy, but I want to get back to that as soon as possible. Joe, you're on that Discord every day pretty much, aren't you?
You know it. pop in. I try to pop in as much as I can, just to like, if I step away from a day or two from that thing, and then I come back and I have like 400 messages I got to go through. So for me, it's easier just to pop in every, as much as I can all the time and just keep up with it. But we really do read everything. The only time I won't read stuff is if I pop in and see like the mountain bike channel has like 300 comments of 2 people just discussing their local trails or something. Like I might just skim those really quickly. But otherwise, I mean, we're reading everything on there.
If you're on TikTok and you see Michael Hodge commenting, that's Hodge on the screen right now. He's our programmer. So if you get a comment from him, he certainly knows what he's talking about.
Oh, almost cased. Whoops. No, I want to start back here. Did Suron guy quit? Yeah, I haven't seen him pop in saying day whatever, asking to put a Suron on the game.
Today would have been a good day for him here, because today there have been 2 different things that you sort of changed your mind on. Suron guy picked the wrong day not to be here.
Yeah.
You may have just been like, yeah, maybe I was wrong about that too. Let's do Surons.
See if we can hit this big old hip. Oh. Getting steezy on the hip. Kinda.
Chill Clinton says riding seesaws is a weird feeling. I bet it is, man.
Yeah,
I bet it is. Because if you don't go, my guess is you have to know kind of how far to go. Because if you go too far, it goes down too hard, I would think. And if you don't go far enough, it might come back on you. You might lose your balance and just fall off the side. That's what I would think. Chill, do I have that right at all? Or how would you describe what it's like to ride a seesaw?
We do have third-person view, but it's work in progress and looks bad. So I'm mostly playing first-person, but third-person is on the in the short list of things to fix up and make nicer. Can I double flip? Oh, squeaked it around. I don't think I'm gonna be able to clear this though. Going too slow. Mostly.
Hodge back wants to know if we are working on optimization for FPS.
That is definitely on the short-term list. I need to get with Maggie to talk about a couple things, but yeah, definitely something we need to work on for lower-end devices. Make it playable.
Got to get those water physics in here too. I guess when we work on the other terrain physics, one of them could be water. How do you feel about that, Hodge?
That'll make a big difference. That'll make a big difference in the game, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, that sounds sweet to me. Get rid of that wheelie pad at the bottom too.
Yeah. But I think, let's start slow. Like, I think all we need in the beginning is we need the hard packed dirt, gravel, loam, water. I think like those, if we started with that, I think that'd be cool. If we decide to add weather and stuff later, I think adding mud would be a nice option. I could see that being kind of fun, like a little stickier and slippy at the same time. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, but I guess my plan for that is basically tie everything into the terrain texture. So whatever textures are laid down on the terrain, you can go in there
Perfect.
and edit the friction values for.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Max Mids, thanks for the follow, brother. If anybody feels like following us, please do. If anybody's hanging with us on the YouTube side, and that's probably gonna get throttled, and hasn't followed us yet, please do so. That's a tough one to grow for us. What programming language do we use? We use Unity. We build in Unity, I should say.
Yeah.
Hodge, another question for you from Cap. Yeah. What was that?
Oh, C# specifically in Unity, but
Yeah, that's the language, right?
yeah.
Captain Jack said, would like you to talk a little bit more, Hodge, about your programming history, like what you like about it and kind of how you got into it, etc., all that stuff.
Yeah, I guess how I got into it, I don't know. I think I was playing MX Simulator back in the day, and I was like, one guy created this. Like, I feel like I could do something similar, and so that's kind of how I got started. Didn't know anything really. I guess I learned specifically from YouTube videos. Just trial and error, and kind of kept at it, and trying to make my own thing. I did go to school for programming. I think that was a huge waste of time and money. Uh, didn't really give me any benefit, I feel like. So, um, yeah. And then I guess what I like most about it, I don't know, it's a little bit nerdy, but I just like making things, do things on the screen. I like figuring out problems, and um, I don't know, like some people like to write in their journal or whatever, or I don't know, like reading stuff. But I guess I just like writing out code. It's really as simple as that.
Pretty much my whole career, I've made some kind of product for people. I started making Racer X, the motocross magazine. I did that for almost 20 years. Then we made Mad Skills Motocross and all those games. That was awesome. Now we're making Cranked, which is super fun. There's something pretty thrilling about making something that's coming from inside of you, that you believe in, that you think can be kind of cool and maybe different than anything that's ever been made before, and then releasing it out into the world and seeing how people respond to it. And when it seems to move a lot of people and make them feel really good and bring something joyous to their lives or something that they love doing. One guy hanging with us earlier was like, he played Mad Skills Motocross all through his high school years. That feels pretty cool to know that you made something and it had an impact on people and it actually like made the world a little better, even if it's just a video game. I don't know. To me, that was always meaningful. And
Hodge
I think
said
it's pretty fun making something like that.
he still plays Mad Skills Motocross every day, like 45 minutes a day.
Who does? Hodge does?
Hodge, yeah.
Yeah, dude, I haven't really played this week because I used to dedicate like 45 minutes a day at my previous job, just whenever things are slow, and try to get up on the leaderboard. So
Hey, Joe, I'll let you take this one. Freddie, what's up, man? A mountain biker, which is great. He says, looks like a mountain biker and a videographer. So hopefully you'll hang with us on Discord because we love getting creatives hanging with us. But he says, how do I get access to the open world if I pay for Patreon?
Boom. At the top, if you pay for Patreon, become a member, you can kind of go to like the main dashboard, and at the top, I've created different sections. In the very first section, that's like pinned at the top, says "Start Here." Click into there. The first post in there is the link to itch.io. You just need to connect your itch account to your Patreon account. It's very simple. And then once you do that, you can go download it from itch. I recommend just downloading the itch app. Just Google like itch.io application or whatever. And then if you download that, it's kind of like Steam where they have a launcher and it'll just keep it updated for you. So you don't have to like download separate builds every time we release something. And if you need help figuring out how to do any of that, the third post in that Start Here section is actually like a video of me walking you through every step. So if you need help, check it out. But if you're a typical kind of nerdy gamer, it's very easy to do.
Tonka, what's up? Thanks for the comment. He says, how do I get new bikes?
Right
Right now, the only bike in the game is the Frameworks bike, which maybe Joe will show you in a minute.
Yeah, I can.
But for now, that's the only bike we have in the game. We try to think about things foundationally, like make sure the things we're putting our time into are the most important things at any given time and help the game grow in the best way. So adding additional bikes, which is more of a cosmetic thing. Now, when we have different styles of bikes, that'll be a different thing. But for now, we're focusing more on dialing the physics in and building the world and starting to think about the core loop and the meta game like that. And we'll get to, as we can, we'll add more bikes over time. But for now, the answer is you can't yet. It's just the Frameworks downhill bike. Fortunately, it's the coolest bike in the world. So if you're going to have a bike, having the Frameworks bike is a pretty good one to be riding on. I think. Love this bike.
There's still work to be done, polishing things up graphically, and the riders will have customization. You'll be able to pick if you want to ride in some like chill gear, some baggy jeans, some overalls like this, or if you want to rock some officially branded like race gear, whatever. We're gonna have real brands in the gear wise and bike wise. So we're gonna have a lot of customization and such. Most of the customization will be visual. Probably all of it will be visual. Like you're not gonna be able to like change the fork out and then all of a sudden now it feels different than a different fork or whatever. But yeah, we do have plans for lots of customization. As many real world brands as we can get our hands on, or we can partner with. We partner with a ton in the Mad Skills game, so try to leverage those relationships and get them in here. We've already got one big one that's signed on, which we haven't officially announced who yet, but we will soon once we've got some stuff to preview.
What's up, Cohen? Good to see you, man, as always. Drew Bennett's been hanging with us for a bit. Wants to know when we think it'll release. I'm not sure, man. Because in a way, it's already released. You know, you can support us on Patreon and play everything we do publicly anyway. So we just don't really think of release necessarily in the same way that we have with all the other games we've made. When the release was like the first time anybody could play it, that was a much bigger part of the way we thought about things. But now it's just kind of like when we're ready to move it over to a 1.0 stage, it'll be released. There'll be an early access release before that, and we don't know for sure. Maybe by this summer, maybe within 6 months or so is what we've talked about in the past. But we have to see how things develop, and we'll go from there.
We don't want to rush it, you guys. You know, the worst thing you can do is release a game too early, and then it's, you know, everyone knows it was rushed and blah blah blah. So, you know, we're gonna work closely with Patreon members and, you know, the thousands of people over there playing, helping us test and everything, and make sure when we're launching it feels right and ready. My hope in you know what I want to do. I mean, we talk about this stuff all the time. We're very, like we've said before, we're super open with the community. We'll answer any question you guys ask. There's really nothing we have as a secret. Some stuff is secretive only because we don't want to spoil surprises, you know. But our hope is that, like, when I want to launch early access is basically when we have what's called the vertical slice of the game. So kind of every main component that we want in the game is in there, but it's only maybe, you know, 5 or 10% of what the final version will be, which means there's multiplayer, there's modding, there's customization, there's the core loop of being able to complete a challenge and unlock the lift passes and upgrade your lift passes, and all of those things are in there, but it's maybe only in the first or second zone, and there's maybe only 1 or 2 bikes and maybe only a couple gear items. Like, once you've kind of got all the systems in, then we can launch early access, and then from there you just start building out those systems and expanding on them and making them more robust and polishing and all that kind of stuff. So whenever we kind of get all those systems in place in their basic MVP form, like a minimal viable product, then that's probably when early access will launch.
Joe mentioned challenges, Hodge. As you've been on the team, have any like ideas for cool challenges come to you that you think would make the game cool?
Honestly, not really. I'm not gonna say anything, but I really like what Joe has in plans for right now. So, yeah, not really a designer. I just make this stuff work.
Yeah, but if you're building this thing, there have to be times when ideas come to you. I mean, I'm not a designer either, but I've been designing video games for 15 years one way or the other. So, I mean, you're going to be a designer to some extent, not in the same way Joe is.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think yeah, Joe just has better ideas than me.
Yeah, I'm used to that.
I'm just excited that I get to make a game in the open with other people finally. Like, you know, the community's come up with some crazy awesome ideas. Like Jax, for example.
Yeah.
We've got a drone in the game, and Jax came up with the idea. You know, when the game launches, like we were talking about earlier, when you first play the game, you're restricted to one part of the mountain. So we can't let the player hop in the drone and fly anywhere they want, drop a marker and start playing, because it kind of ruins the progression of the game. We want there to be actual like career and a gameplay and progression. So Jax's idea was to put up each zone. We're gonna have about 6 different regions of the map. Each region has a drone blocking tower, like a drone jammer. And the tower is like a tech trail. So imagine a big wooden tower, and there's a way to ride to the top of it, but it's kind of difficult to ride to the top of it. And once you get to the top of it, you can break the jammer. And once you do that, now you've unlocked the ability to fly the drone in that area. If you go outside that area, it'll start getting fuzzy and the drone will cut out and you can't fly anymore. And then when you unlock the next zone, there'll be another tower there, and you ride up to the top of the tower. Finally, when you get to the top, break it, repeat, you know? So things like that are ideas from the community, where if we were developing this thing behind closed doors, you know, chances of us coming up with all these cool ideas is low. So I'm excited to
I love that idea, though.
So do I.
Love that idea.
Yeah.
That's such a cool idea.
And that's just one idea of many we've had from the community, some of which we've already implemented. Like, you know, a lot of people, including Old Potato, had the idea to, like, make flips faster if you tuck in a flip. So that's the way the game works. So right there, that's a flips tuck, and I can pull it real hard. Or if I do let's see if I can flip off this. If I do a flip off this untuck, see how much slower that was? Spins are the opposite. So if you want to spin fast, you want to stand up. If you don't stand up, you spin much slower. So it's another idea by the community. you know, Aaron's idea of having like a coffee shop or something to hang out in and meet friends. If you don't want to ride, you just want to chill, go over there. Maybe you want to meet some new people in the game. It can be like a meeting spot. Go there first and be like, hey, you want to go run some laps together? You know, you find someone to hang out with and whatever. You know, so we've had tons of cool ideas. If you guys want to share your ideas, feel free to hop in the Discord. We've got a whole channel forum section where you can just kind of create a new forum post with your idea and get talking to us about it. Yeah, that's kind of my favorite
One
part of
really
this.
great idea that came from the community, and I had absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with, was the idea of getting Baby Monkey in there somewhere. That was a great idea. I don't remember who it was. I think so many people wanted to see it that you wouldn't even be able to find the original person who came up with this idea.
Baby Monkey's going to have some very interesting part in this game, I think.
Yep.
If you guys don't know who Baby Monkey is, you could see him a little bit if you're in full screen mode, probably behind Brian.
Here's a crazy thing. We were getting ready earlier. I came up here and he was kind of sleeping. He was like literally lying down. I walked downstairs, came back up to my office, and he had changed to this position. He always does that. But you never see it happen.
Yeah,
it's
very-
always when you're like out of the room and you come back later, and then when you're here, he just is sitting there like he's inanimate. But I don't know what's up with that. But he's never hurt anybody, so I think it's fine.
Two things I want to bring up. One is I want to ask Hodge how you feel about the ragdoll. There's things that annoy me about it, and I'm curious how you will fix it. Like the hands are stiff and the arms are stiff, and I don't know. I want it to look less mannequin-y and more like a human. But what was the other thing I was going to bring up? Oh, I was just going to say real quick, if you guys do want to get involved in development, join the Discord. Like the one thing Hodge was going to kind of hinting at earlier that he didn't say, I'll say it. Like each section of the map is going to have what I'm calling a unique experience. So these are going to be kind of things that are strange and interesting, and you stumble upon them, and changes the gameplay for you for a short period of time. And we design these things together with the community. So I'll go in Discord and say, hey, look, in a couple hours, I'm going to hop in, chat. Anyone who wants to like help me design these systems of the game, hop in and give me your feedback. And together, me and probably like 6 or 7 people from the community worked on the first zone experience, which is going to be, you know, spoiler. If you guys don't want spoiler alerts, close your ears. But there's going to be hidden beehives in the first zone. 5 hidden beehives. You'll know where they are because you'll be able to hear them and see the bees if you drive by, ride by. You need to find a way to whip to knock the beehives down. You can place ramps with the drone. So it might require you to place ramps with the drone or get creative in order to like get up and knock a beehive down. You knock the 5 beehives down. You collect the honey they drop. Deliver the honey to the hidden bear. There's a bear den on the map somewhere. Not yet, but there will be. Deliver the honey to the bear. The bear becomes your friend because you gave him honey, and he lets you ride him. So now you can ride the bear, and riding the bear is fun because it can go uphill faster than the bike can. So it'll allow you to reach places you cannot reach on a bike, and maybe there'll be hidden trails or hidden objects or hidden something that are only accessible by riding the bear. So things like that are what we designed together with the community, and we have a lot of fun doing it. So if you want to get involved and like help us come up with fun, cool ideas, join the Discord. But Hodge, back to Ragdoll. Any thoughts on Ragdoll?
Yeah, I think the way it's set up right now is using the built-in Unity animation rigging package. So I don't know if all the bones are in there, the bones that normally make up the character rig. So we might switch to a different rigging system where we can control like muscle weights and stuff like that to make it a little bit more realistic. Yeah, that might be the move.
Nice. That's cool. I feel like every time I ask you something about making something better, you already have an idea on how to do it, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've been making similar games, I guess. So, yeah, just you know, stuff that I'm always thinking about. So, and my ideas always aren't the greatest. So, definitely, if there's a better way to do it, then I'm all up for switching. So,
Yeah.
Well, that's always been the way Joe's been too. If there's a better idea than something he came up with, he just wants it to be as good as it can be. So Joe's never been I think that's the case with all of us on this team. Actually, nobody here feels like it needs to be their idea. That was the idea. Everybody. I mean, we'll make sure to give credit to those who were the ones who had the ideas. But we just want it to be good. It could be Hodge's idea. It could be Aaron's idea. It doesn't matter to us. In some ways, it's almost better when it's somebody else's idea because you get to include more people in what you're doing and what you're building. It's fun.
We're at the 2 hour
We all work
mark.
alone.
Well-
So it's nice. It's nice when we get to have these social experiences with people because we all work sitting in an office and work
Yep.
alone.
Yep. And you know, Brian and I have been talking a lot about this on our own in private, and maybe we've mentioned it a couple times. But really, our hope for this game, at least for me, is this becomes more than a game. You know, we're already creating an amazing community. Like you guys have been awesome. You know, we've worked on a lot of different games, but I got to say, this is like the most friendly, kind, loving community, game community I think I've been a part of. You know, and I hope we can extend that to real life. Like we would love to travel around and do things where, you know, if this game can support us to be able to go, you know, ride a van around the U.S. or even other countries and meet up at bike parks and ride together and have little events. I imagine like having an event where all day we ride at a bike park, and then at night we've got crank tournaments and hanging out, having some laughs around a campfire, playing a tournament, giving away some prizes. You know, like that's kind of my dream, is to turn the next 10 years of my life into working on crank, traveling around, talking about crank, riding with you guys, having fun, just enjoying bikes, nature, and video games.
That's a good time to mention that Joe and I are going to be working on a little thing, us together here pretty soon, where maybe some of you guys knew that we had a bike shop event at Pathfinder in Morgantown maybe 6 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago or something like that. It was super fun. We had locals come out, a bunch of fast kids came out. I don't know. We had like 30-some, 40-some people played the game, and we had a competition. It was fun. Build a quick admin to kind of run it all and have leaderboards and that type of a thing. But Joe and I are going to get together, and we're going to build an actual external tool just for the fun of it that we could take down the Pathfinder and would allow them to actually have like a once a month race night at the bike shop there. And people kind of come down, build a series that goes from month to month, that type of a thing. And they mentioned that we were thinking about doing that. So Joe and I are going to build them a lightweight tool to use to kind of manage that. So if that sounds fun to y'all, then from the start, we'll kind of think of it as a tool that we could release to other people. So if you want to have friends over, you know, I mean, this isn't something that we would want to do over the long run. We wouldn't want to have any metagame in the game itself. But for now, it would be kind of cool to have some admin and some interface where we can kind of manage a night of playing with friends in person. And maybe it would even inform something that ends up making it into the game event. So if you guys think that sounds interesting, let us know. We'll build it in such a way that we can share it.
You.
Lightweight though. I don't want to like overdo it, you know, Joe. Just enough to make it easy to run it, so you don't have to like put a lot of time and energy into running it, but don't overproduce it or anything. Because I love the grassroots nature of that night we had. It was so fun.
Oh yeah,
it's such a blast.
Awesome.
Really want to get a van and maybe borrow Joe's mom, Karen's RV, and do a tour, like a week-long tour, just hitting like 6 or 7 different regions in the course of a week and finding bike shops who are down with what we're doing and want to host us. I think that sounds so fun. Riding along the way, taking our bikes and hitting the trail system around these bike shops and going out and riding with locals and stuff. That just sounds like an absolute blast to me.
This trail's fun, I gotta say. It's probably our slowest trail in the game, I think. Well, unless Sudan gets on it, then it's probably fast. But it's probably the slowest trail. One of the more techie ones. I like the vibe it has. It's kind of just... It's fun to just kind of slowly make your way through, find some different lines. Like right here, I used to always go up to the left there, but I just realized, like, you know, you can drop this line down here, too. Handcraft, man, he's a master.
Yeah, that's a killer line right there. That is a killer line. I love that line.
And like right here, you can skip that. I screwed it up. You can skip that and get over to that sucker. And then there's going to be a line here. I feel like I want to try this. Let's see if we can make it happen.
Ty Thy Great says we need to make it to Crankworks this year. Oh, we're making it to Crankworks this year.
Yeah, it's in the plans. Actually,
we're definitely going to Crankworks, yeah.
My mom and stepdad already booked their tickets and everything. There it is.
Oh, really? Nice. Cool.
Yeah, they've already got the hotel and everything booked. Oh.
Also, Crankworks gives us more of an opportunity to meet people who are playing the game. Like, gotta believe by the time that rolls around, there's going to be at least a decent number of people there who play, and it'll be nice to kind of be in the epicenter for a while to get a chance to spend some face-to-face time with people playing the game. We're making friends with people who we're talking to on a daily basis, and we've never met them in real life, and that's interesting. So it'd be cool to remedy that with some of our players.
Aaron, any chance you're gonna hit up Crankworks? How far is that? I know Canada's a massive country, and I'm not trying to be like a European saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go to America and drive around everywhere," and then they get here and they realize it's huge. But
I think it's on the other side of the country where she lives. I think that would be like a 3-day drive, if I'm not mistaken.
Good thing there's planes, but if you're at Crankworks, you should meet up, ride a little bit. I'll be mostly probably riding
Nice. Tie-dye Great will be there.
I'll be riding the green and blue trails mostly, probably. I ride black trails here, and they're
Tie-dye
gnarly
Great.
and techy, but I feel like there the black trails would be just big jump lines, and I'd be scared. You're pretty far away, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Kev, what's up, man? On the TikTok side of things, this is it's pre-alpha. We're just releasing it, kind of showing everything we do as we build this game out. So if you want to actually try this game being made by Action Sports, mountain bike people, a long history of making games, Mad Skills Motocross, and all these other games that we've made throughout the years. Just try the free play test on Steam. You know, you head over to Steam, search for Cranked, download it, and play it for free. This is the open world map, so this is all placeholder graphics. This is if you get the play test, it's a little more presentable than this is right now, but we're super early. It's really all about the physics and the gameplay at this point. So if you want to check it out and play it, I think when you actually play it, you'll kind of see what we're going for. Maybe you'll give us a shot. Thanks for stopping by.
Hodge, how do you feel about the way the bike moves when you crash? And how do you feel about trying to make a system where, like, you know, if you case something really hard that resulted in a crash, like the wheel would actually like taco in and cave in, or your frame snaps in half, or things like that?
Would that be just for like the one time you crash? Would, like, if you reset, would it
Goes back to the full bike.
the wheel? Yeah. So yeah, if it's just purely cosmetic, I'm down for that.
It's just to make the crashes look cooler, basically.
Yeah. I've noticed sometimes the bike goes in the ground, so I think we got to fix that and make it, I don't know, crash a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, see, like it doesn't move around. Like the bars don't ever turn, the pedals aren't like if it's a really stiff, rigid thing when it crashes, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm down for that. I think that'd be kind of neat to see the damage that your bike gets. Kind of like what is it, Skate Hollowed Meat, something similar to that.
Yeah,
but with the bike instead of your bones.
That would be actually fun.
We've had a lot of people ask us about that Hollow Meat thing, and wondering if we might do something with it. Yeah,
it would be kind of funny. Instead of Hall of Meat, it's like Hall of Meat, but just for the bike. You get like a report on what's wrong with your bike. I was gonna say earlier. Now we're at like 2:08, so let's do. Probably end it here soon. So if anyone has final questions, or if we want to do a final rundown or anything, we'll maybe do another 10 minutes or so and ask your questions, and then we're gonna hop off and get back to work making the game. Max says, "What game is this?" It's called Cranked. I like how you add us at Cranked Mountain Bike Game. What game is this?
You can play it now. It's this is super early, guys. We're still pre-alpha. Because we're building this game in public. A lot of times people stumble in and they see an early version of it. They think it's like a final version or whatever, and they have a tendency to. Some people have a tendency to jump to conclusions, but we're just releasing what we do very early. So if you head over to Steam and search for Cranked and hit the request playtest button, you can play the playtest map. This is the in development open world map, so this has all placeholder environment graphics and stuff. The playtest is a little more polished, and it's honestly hours of fun in the playtest build already. Somebody mentioned that earlier in the comments. I noticed, and you can play for hours. There are people with 100 hours plus just on the trails available on the playtest map. So yeah, head over to Steam and search for Cranked and hit the request playtest button, and you'll get it right now. You can play it and see if you think what we're working on is worth paying attention to as we continue with development.
Oh, there's another line. You guys see that line?
Yeah, that was dope, man.
Yeah, you just like, oh, dude, there's so many lines right here. Antgrass, you're a wizard, dude.
Drew Bennett wants to know what the Discord is. Joe, I never will remember, so I'll ask you to repeat it one more time. It should be a link in the bio, but I'll have Joe call it out too.
Discord.gg/cranked. You just Google cranked Discord, it should
go.
be the first result.
Boom.
Or if you download the free
Oh,
play
man,
test,
Freddie-
the link's in there too.
Freddie mountain bike videographer guy who I was pumped to see talking to us earlier just tried to get the Patreon and got that stupid crap that we get over there
Oh
sometimes.
my god.
What's the current thing to do there, Joe? You have to go through the appeal or whatever.
Yeah, just Google Patreon contact, and then they have a form you can fill out. Select trust and safety team, and just send them a message saying, "Hey, I tried to subscribe and it flagged me, and I need you guys to clear it up." And they'll ask you to verify the like name, address, and some stuff like that, I think, and then they'll open it up for you. They're like bot spam detection is like very heavy-handed and blocks a lot of people. It's very annoying. There's nothing we can really do about it.
It sucks because it's always somebody who's trying to support us who's affected. Always. But that's the situation. So we're bummed about it. Here's a good one from Ty Thy Great. Stats would be sick. How
Yep.
much airtime? How many crashes in the bike? Whatever. We've done a lot of stuff like that in some of the Mad Skills games we did. We
Yeah.
counted stats of different kinds. That'd be a cool
Yeah.
thing to do.
I definitely want stats at some point. That kind of stuff will probably come like right before 1.0 release, things like that. So unfortunately, you probably won't get stats for all the time you played in like early access.
Freddie says, thanks. Would I be classed as a member? He's the one who was struggling with the Patreon thing. Is that a question they asked during that process?
I mean, if you tried to
Sounds like he's trying to be-
If you tried to sign, I mean, I don't know. Did it let you sign up at all for as a free member or anything? I'm not sure. But if you email them and just talk to them, they should be able to. Whether you say yes or no to that.
But
that
also,
doesn't
Freddie,
matter.
if you have any issues, hop over into Discord and connect with us over there. We'll make sure you get sorted.
Yeah. And if they take forever, I'll just give you temporary like access to the thing until they figure it out.
By the way, we haven't said this in a while. If anybody's interested in subscribing to our Patreon and supporting this indie effort and getting access to the open world, etc., and you just don't think it's any good, like you're disappointed, you've played the free play test and that was good, but for some reason you don't think it's good, let us know and we'll just give you a refund. I guess we don't have to do that as much now that we have the free play test, probably, Joe,
Yeah.
because you can play it that way.
Yep.
But still, if you got it and you were bummed about it we're not trying to take money from people who don't want to support us. If you try and it doesn't work out or you're struggling or whatever, let us know and we'll try to make it right for you.
I love riding around that rock right there. It's so fun.
It is cool.
One last question for Hodge, and then we're going to close it out, unless anyone has final questions in chat. But Hodge, what are you most excited to work on the next year on this game?
Honestly, probably multiplayer. I think just getting in there, like even playing just us or with community members is going to be huge. I just think it's going to add like a whole new dynamic to the game, and even though it'll be basic to start off with, I think it'll be very impactful. And then after that, I definitely like to clean up some stuff like the whips and rider animations. Really just want to get steezed out over some of these jumps, and it's gonna be sick.
I want to be like the shredders of mountain biking games. I feel like that game is like the most easy action sports game on the market right now.
Yeah, it's sick.
People love that game. I haven't
love
played
it.
it yet.
Oh, it's so good. Cool. One last rundown, just like the common stuff for you guys is we're the developers. Feel free to follow us here on YouTube or anywhere. Crank Game all over the place if you want to stay up to date. Join the Discord, discord.gg/cranked. If If you want to support development and get access to all of our development builds, that has way more trails than the free demo on Steam, the free playtest, you could join our Patreon. It's $5 a month at the lowest tier, and that gives you access to all these builds. If you want to try the free playtest, head over to Steam. If on PC, Mac, or Linux, you could sign up for that. And what else?
It's 2026. It's a new year. Everybody's got a chance to wipe that slate a little bit clean. And if there's something you didn't like about your life, an opportunity to maybe say, you know what, this is the year I'm going to make that right. See if I can't make my life a little bit better. I hope some of you all, hope everybody with us today is off to a good start and has a great year. That's what I have to say to close.
Nice. It does run on Steam Deck, Jared. Do I have a date it'll be coming to console? No, I do not, Joe. Probably be like at least a year more. And I'm wheeling right here for you, Torben. And that's it. I'm just going to look real quick over on the other chat, make sure. I don't think there's any questions over there.
Yeah, Cohen, it would be cool to meet you too, brother. It would be cool to meet you too. Maybe we'll see you someday. Hope so.
Is Linus making a track confirmed? I don't know if it's confirmed, but if Linus wants to make a trail in this game, you know, I would like to run it by Ankras or Cedric, our level designer, to make sure he has no qualms with it. But I think it'd be cool to get a guest trail in here, or at least get him access to modding stuff as soon as we can, and get him making maybe one of the first modded maps. I know a lot of these Descenders guys want to port over their maps here, and I think it will be possible. So, you know, maybe we'll see some Descenders ports. I don't know. That's it. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Thanks, Hodge, for being here.
Thanks, Hodge.
Yeah, good to be here. It's fun.
We'll catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully we have an update. I don't know if we'll do any updates. How do you think you'll fix that bug by tomorrow into business?
The crash?
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I'll have you test something tonight and see if it fixes it.
Gotcha. So if he fixes that and I can get more work on the flow trail, I'll release a playtest update to everyone tomorrow. If not, probably next week. So.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, guys. See ya. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. If you ask questions and we didn't answer, hit us in Discord. We'll answer over there. Thanks, guys.